Welcome to the Positively Star Wars Senate podcast. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. May the Force be with you.
Looky, Senator. These are Jedi arriving.
Let's make this our best show ever!
I will sign no treaty, Senator.
I am the Senate.
This is the way.
Hello, Star Wars fans, and welcome to Positive Star Wars Chat, because this is Positively Star Wars Senate podcast, coming to you by the power of the Force and a little help from Skype. This is episode number 66, and recorded on the 66 Unlimited, and recorded on the 22nd of December 2024. But as ever, before we get going, we've got to have a quick word from our sponsors of this episode.
New from Canner, action figures from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Now you can relive the action.
Execute Order 66.
It's Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi with Clone Commander Bakara. And Jedi Master Ayla Secura. And who's this? Anakin Skywalker or Darth Vader?
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? No!
Commander Bakara, Bail Organa, and Doomed Younglings, each sold separately by Canner.
Thank you, sponsors! Paying for our D+ descriptions and keeping us on the airways and all the food in the cupboard and all that good stuff. Helping pay towards Ron's sail barge.
I have Hulu ad-free now, so it's kind of cool.
So do I. And then they just took wrestling off it. So now I'm like, now I want to cancel it.
That's what none of our sponsors. Okay, so my name is Stephen. I am the Chancellor, so to speak, the only British member of the crew, but the rest of my crew is from across the pond. I should say Scanty Crew, couldn't I? Plus that pond of water to the west in the United States of America. I've got Sky.
Did you call the United States a pond of water?
Pond of water. Pond of water.
Pond of
It is
water.
water. It's a big pond. So I have with me Ryan,
Hello there.
Ricky,
Hello.
and Ron.
Greetings and salutations from the hyperspace lanes as I'm traveling on the road, fellow senators. Chancellor.
Yes,
Nice.
Otherwise known as the 3 R's. And
Sounds
Yeah.
in the exclusion zone.
yeah, the three R's. Join us. So this is a bit of an ad hoc kind of episode. You guys listening at home and stuff, and guys and girls and whatever, won't realise this, but it's a bit of a all over the place, really, quite frankly. But we are going
The holiday season.
It is the holiday season. It is the holiday season, and none of us have any idea what we're doing, what day of the week it is, and what day it is tomorrow, and that kind of stuff. But we're going to talk about some.
I did hear a nugget. You guys said it's episode 6. It's whatever. It's episode 66.
It is episode 66.
So is there an order? Is there an order to be called?
Good soldiers follow orders, right?
Just soldiers for orders. So when was that? Mean, hang on, we put this out before, didn't we? This is episode 66. When was episode 1?
19
Don't
May
say-
something,
don't-
1999.
1999.
Yeah, don't say that. I was going to say, don't say that. I meant episode 1 of our podcast. You.
It was like October of 2020.
Blimey. I don't remember. Well, we should work that one out at some point.
Or when did you have the actual first Senate? Was it
Yeah,
2016?
didn't put them out. We didn't put them as podcast, did we? For ages.
It's somewhere on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's still out there.
We'll have a look. We'll work that one out at some point. Probably when it gets to episode 100, we'll have a big review or so. We should be in about.
It'll be a clip show.
Yeah, just
like the old
that's
sitcoms.
that's what everything else does at holidays, and they just put out a review of the year or best of and that kind of stuff. No, it's just so dull.
They did have a cool logo for Star Wars. StarWars.com had it was like Star Wars 2024, and like inside the logo it had like pictures of everything that happened. Like it had Outlaws in there and Skeleton Crew and Mandalorian and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool logo. I'm like, oh, I guess all that stuff did come out this year. So.
Yeah. Did everybody see those pictures of Andor season 2 that were sort of doing the rounds on the internet in the last?
I couldn't tell if it was from season 2 or season 1. So.
I'll be honest. There's no way of knowing what, 'cause it's just stills of characters, and it could, quite frankly, it could be come from anywhere, couldn't it?
Was it the one where Mothma is standing in the doorway?
Yeah, and Krennic.
She's always standing in doorways.
standing in the corner, and there's Mon Mothma at a desk, and then there's the other chap, I've forgotten his name, Luthor.
Why are you describing the pictures like you're describing it to AI to create a photo?
Well, because I'm going from memory.
Mon Mothma at desk.
It was the fourth one.
It was one of Cassian just looking, and he had like.
They just Cassian, yeah. To be honest, I don't know if it's
different.
real or not, because I just thought, well, these just could come from anywhere, quite frankly. And they weren't linked to any particular. Oh, yes, they did. They were on the. I did see it where they came from. They came from the IOM Facebook page. Apparently, so it popped up on my Facebook feed. So there's nothing really to talk about there because there is literally nothing you can possibly talk about.
When does that start?
Next year, or by the time we get this out this year.
Is it in January or is it like March?
2025 anyway, isn't it? Something to look forward to. Anyhow, we're going to talk about some random Star Wars news that we wanted to catch up on, and I think Ryan had. This is your moment, Ryan.
You just want to start off with Star Wars Unlimited then?
With the news.
Yeah, go on. I'll put myself on mute and have another snooze. Go on.
Oh,
there was some stuff that was dropped or stuff that was announced, Ryan.
So I usually, me, Ricky, and Ron have played a few games of it. So I at least just like bring this conversation up to keep us all refreshed because I follow it daily type of thing. But as far as Star Wars Unlimited, they started releasing some news on the next set, which is probably going to drop in early to mid-March. I think it's like the 7th and the 14th, whatever that Friday is in that range. And it's, as I mentioned before, Jump to Lightspeed. So this one focuses more on space and leaders in space. And some people have wanted how your leaders usually deploy to the ground. Well, people have been wanting leaders to just deploy to space, where to me, that's a little weird because you have just a general leader, and then it's just like, now I'm in space. And it's like, okay. But they twisted it up a little bit. So the next set, the two main characters, it seems like, are Boba and Han. They're the ones that's kind of in the AKA starter decks. And that's kind of another set of news. So maybe I'll start with that. They actually are removing the 2-player starter decks. So you know how we have like Luke and Vader and Moff and and Moff and Mando, they were 2-player starter sets. They're actually changing that. So from Jump to Lightspeed on, it's no longer a 2-player starter set. It is going to be called Spotlight decks. So it's still going to be 2 characters that they spotlight, but now instead of in a 2-player set, they're sold separately. And they're still going to have special cards because, the 2-player decks is the only place to get the 10 specialty ranked cards, the black border ones or whatever, where it has the black S on the bottom. So they're just changing it up a little bit. To me, it's like they're probably going to get more money out of it for the technically the same idea. So I'm not too excited about that.
Arcana does that, and Pokemon has always done that. So have like the single sets that are already pre-made.
Yeah. So, and it's not like the huge deck. So they're just technically it's the same. They're just instead of 1 2-player box, it's now 2 separate starter decks. So instead of both sets for probably like $30 or $25, it might be like $18 a pack or excuse me, a set. So I mean that is kind of surprising, but it's still pretty much the same. They are saying they are more competitive. So these decks will be a little bit stronger. So it might have an extra rare or 2 in it type of thing. So, that's what they decide to do. That's still fine. If you don't want both characters or if you just want one, I guess the option's open. At least it still has the 10 specific special rarity cards in the pack. So obviously I'm still interested in it. So it's not a spotlight deck. So and that's usually what kicks off.
The decks that were in there allowed you to play against each other and allowed you to learn the game or get into the game, but they weren't decks that you could take into competition and expect to fare very well. It sounds like these new ones, while it does sound like a money grab, because that 2-player set was nice because it instantly allowed you to have cards for that series and gift it to someone and they could play and everything. So you have to buy these two separate. It's not going to have I don't remember if the 2-player deck had the chips and everything. It was self-contained, everything you needed to play. So it sounds like this new idea isn't going to have that, but it allows you to buy a deck and get into gameplay at a not a higher level, but a higher level than the beginner level of the 2-player starter sets that were released previous. Is that right? Because it sounds like these decks are a little bit beefier in terms of their capabilities. Gameplay to last a little longer against a built deck that somebody might customize and bring into the gameplay.
Yes, that is true. They are saying they are more competitive. So several people have asked in the past, hey, if I bring just a 2-player starter deck, Luke Skywalker pre-built set, will I do all right? And people are like, no, you will not do all right. Like, these are designed to be weak decks that you just learn to play with the kid.
Yeah, learn to play with someone. But if you want to come into something, don't bring those, you're going to get trounced.
Yeah, but these probably still won't be considered anything near meta, some of the top ranked decks. They are saying if you buy this, it will be slightly more competitive. Also, the thing is, now that there's going to be 4 sets out, they have more options for cards. There's a bigger pool. So it's easier to take from them, which is all right. So I get it. At the same point, it's not like a huge negative thing for me. I'm just like, it was easy to buy the 2-player set with this spotlight deck. If everybody buys Han and nobody buys Boba, then it's like, well, now Han's going to be a collector thing. And it's like, okay, because we don't know what the specialty cards are, and those specialty cards could be really good. So if someone buys up all the, let's say, Bobas, the Han will go for clearance, and then now you got to search third party for Boba. So that it just raises that chance a little bit higher. Obviously, the starter decks have been widely available. Even set 1 is still available, which is nice. I just hope that these spotlight decks.
That's a good point. That right, the starter decks are still readily available, and both characters are in them because it's a self-contained thing. Whereas this is going to get to that one of them is going to be not as available later down the line, somewhere down the line. And then, from what I'm hearing, the collector side of things sounds like a bit of that's where the money grabs come in play, because you're just going to have to buy both of them at a higher cost if you want those specialty cards. The specialty cards, I need a refresher. Are they just specialty art of existing cards, or are they truly unique? You can only get them if you want them in your deck. You can only get them by buying the 2-player starter sets or whatever these new sets are going to be called.
They are truly unique. The special rarity decks can only be found in 2-player sets, or also be known as spotlight decks, where each character is sold separately now in kind of its own 50-card pack box type of thing.
There's specialty cards. Is that true of the 2-player decks as well? They can only be found in the 2-player set?
100%. Yep, that's the only place you can find them.
Is there perchance the opportunity? Of course, I guess I was going to ask: is there going to be a specialty card that's got some good power, got a little oomph to it? But if that's true, there's no randomness to trying to find it like you would a legendary or something cool in a pack that you need in order to add to your deck to make it powerful. Because if you need that card, or if there's some powerful card, you're just going to go buy one of those specialty decks. So
usually that's the only way to get that leader also. So the only way we can get a Luke and Vader was to get the 2-player pack. So it's really not going to change the way that people who buy into the game, it's like, well, instead of buying the 2-player set, I'm just going to buy the 2 spotlight decks, and they're going to have specialty cards.
this is a different Boba Fett. Wasn't there something to it? There was a Boba Fett. There is a Boba Fett leader. So this is somehow going to be Boba Fett differently. And is he hamstrung? Because wasn't there something to they were not happy or keen on? They were banning Boba Fett or not keen on him because he was doing so well.
Yeah, so I guess one of the big news things, it happened a few weeks ago now, is that the Set 1 Boba Fett has been banned from any type of competition. So you can still play it, obviously local. You can play it in Twin Suns. You can play it in Draft even. But when it comes to just Premier format, which is the usual 1 versus 1 50-card deck, he has been banned from all competition. So, which is great. The people across the entire spectrum of players are like, this is a great thing, and everyone is celebrating the banning of Set 1 Yellow Boba Fett. Because he truly was extremely strong. He's just too cheap to deploy. His ability costs nothing and does a lot. And it opened up once he was banned. Remember, I don't like using the term because it feels weird, but it's meta. Is the technical term where it's the top of the top. You know, the meta is these are the ones that will always be competing. And it was 60% this one character of Boba, and the leader was yellow, and people had it in every color scheme for this one. So there was Boba yellow with a red base, blue base, green base, and yellow base that was just dominating the format for over 60% of all competitive decks. And that's not healthy. You know, you don't want to, it's like, oh man, I got to fight another Boba. The top 8 competition, they're all Bobas fighting against each other just with different color bases. So they banned him. And it opened up all these other decks. You know, now the Django leader has become a lot stronger. Han has become like literally everything is just better in the whole game because of it. So, and people have celebrated that fact. But with the new set, to jump to
doesn't something else then? Doesn't the void get filled? Doesn't something else then become sort of the topping, or if built accordingly, then no, something else won't garner a 60% market share. It'll be 20, 30 of multiple. So then there is, I guess that's why you're saying it's being celebrated and liked. Does it make the card any? I guess leaders are pretty, and bases are pretty common. Was he a legendary, or was he a hard? Is it going to make the card any more collectible that he's banned?
Actually, his showcase card has went up in price, to the shock of everybody. They're like, oh, this card isn't going to be competitive now. So it's his showcase is currently, let me just bring it up here if I have it. No, it's not Boba Fett. Man, my phone hates me. Find his showcase card, what it goes for.
Well, he's like a Charizard.
Not that one. Yeah, it's weird that, so yeah, and now jumped from like $400 to almost $500 for his showcase card. So, but yeah, that was a healthy thing. So that was perfectly fine. And like you said, while he took up 60% of the pie, the meta decks, you know, I hate using that term because it just feels like so uppity, but I mean, it's just what it is. But you know, the strong decks there's always the new Han Red is strong. Rey Red is really strong. Django has now just appeared because he's just the Boba was always a better option, but now Django jumps in as kind of his smaller replacement. So it just opens up everything for more people to so they're still strong, but it's now diversified better. Rather than everyone building against Boba, it's now like, okay, now do I have to worry about Sabine? Do I have to worry about Han and all this other stuff? So it was just super healthy for the whole game. But as far as the new leaders, it was, let me switch back over to screens. But yeah, so the new, like I said, the Spotlight decks are now Han and Boba, which everyone, again, this is now the third Han and third Boba leaders. So everyone's like, you know, there's other characters, right? But you can't deny they're some of the biggest characters. So they'll always get the most spotlight and kind of the most leader releases. So like I said, leaders are now kind of...
Second, say this is the third Han and the third Boba?
Yeah, because we have Han Yellow from set 1. We have Young Han from set 2. And now this set 4 is releasing regular OT Han Solo and OT Boba Fett. So they're making them again. But the difference is, you know how the keywords they have, ambush, and they have all that stuff, smuggle, all that. They have the ambushes. Well, now the new thing with this set is that instead of leaders deploying into space, that was what everyone wanted. These ones are a little bit different. So when the leaders deploy, they actually flip and they're pilots. So they will attach to any vehicle so that's the kind of the downplay of it. You have to have a vehicle on board. They actually deploy in two different ways. They either deploy as a leader to the ground, like a mid-tier leader, like a 4 attack, 7 health leader. So they just attack as a normal leader. Or they deploy as an upgrade, and they can actually attach as an upgrade to any vehicle that you guys have played. So if you have Fet's Fire Spray, or if you have the Millennium Falcon out on the board, anything that's a vehicle, these leaders as an option, can deploy as a pilot, and they attach to an existing vehicle. So it's very intriguing, and I got to say, it's kind of nice that they just didn't go, oh, you're a leader in space now. They didn't make it because that's almost too strong, because space isn't very strong in this game. But the leaders are. So I'll just so they released 3 leaders. The Spotlight deck one is Han Solo yellow and one is Boba Fett red. And they just as like another teaser, Asajj Ventress is another leader for the set coming out. She's a blue. But let me just read Boba's card here. So it says, so this is his ability. And this is mostly for people that play the game. Some people may not understand the wording, but I truly love this game just because it's Star Wars and it's a competitive card game where I get to meet and talk to other Star Wars players. So Boba's regular leader ability is when you deal non-combat damage, you may exhaust this leader if you do deal 1 indirect damage to a player. So they introduced indirect damage as another thing. So again, these terms are becoming, the more the game expands, the more confusing it does kind of get. Ricky plays Pokemon, so he may understand a lot of these terms, that may not exist in other things. So he has a much bigger understanding of card games as me, but I also have a very small background in Magic the Gathering, so some of these terms
that just tells me that there's probably going to be other cards in that set that if you take a certain kind of damage, something else gets triggered. So if you get indirect damage, then that means something happened. You get a shield or something.
And it's a balancing thing. You can't just make these characters super overpowered. So I kind of get it. So it's you can't just do combat damage, because every time you do combat damage, it would trigger this ability. So they're okay, non-combat damage, which would be just deal 2 damage to a character, or anything that it could be. So that's kind of it. But then the most important thing is this epic action. So when he deploys, it says if you control 6 or more resources, deploy this leader as an upgrade to a friendly vehicle unit. And when he's deployed, he says, so he attaches to a vehicle. So now you have this. So any character there that is now a pilot, because he's a pilot leader, they can attach to a vehicle. And so it's just kind of neat that if you have the Millennium Falcon in space, you can deploy Han Solo into that vehicle. So now you have a vehicle, and when he's deployed as a leader upgrade to a vehicle, he adds 3-4 to the attack and health. So it really beefs up space or ground really early in the game. So it is kind of confusing, I will admit. But
you can have Han Solo fly an X-Wing. That'd be cool.
Honestly, yeah. Anything that has it has to have the vehicle tag in it. Yeah. So that could be, like you said, that could be an X-Wing. That could be a TIE fighter if it's.
It could be Boba Fett ship.
Yeah, if you have that and it's not a hero or villain card, he can deploy to that. So it's certainly interesting. People have been wanting more vehicle kind of boosts to the thing. And this set,
honest, when I'm playing, I really don't pay attention to space. That's kind of okay. You kind of put one or two. Yeah.
It happens a lot, man, because honestly, they designed the ground to be stronger, but with this jump to light speed, they're going to put a lot of these, and we don't know if they're all going to be pilot, but the first 3 are pilots. I'm hoping that they're not all pilots, but if they are, I kind of get it too. So same with Asajj. And again, we'll just take Asajj for example. She deploys as a leader with 6 resources, and remember, they can either be on the ground as a normal leader, and she's a 4/6 with grit. Okay, whatever, that's fine. That's just okay for a leader. But when she attaches to a vehicle, it gains grit, and on attack, you may deal 1 damage to a friendly unit. If you do, deal 1 damage to an enemy unit in the same area. Plus, it gets a 3/4. So if you have a space unit for 3/4 and you attach this unit to it, it's now a 6/8 in space, and that's almost impossible to deal with. So they made it interesting that when it attaches, it's a leader upgrade. So it's not just a leader unit that has to attach to a vehicle. And there are certain cards that just straight up defeat upgrades. Like you play this card, defeat any upgrade, and it kills that leader. So a lot of people are kind of upset at that. It's like, well, the leader's too easy to defeat. But if it wasn't, you're putting an 8-cost card in space that's almost unbeatable. Because for, like you said, Ricky, space isn't really paid attention to. It's usually a game closer when you put,
there's people that really don't put very many space things in their decks.
No. So this is going to become like a big threat where people want like a Tarkin type of thing in space. And, let me go to the box art because it kind of reveals some of the other leaders. Jump to light speed. Where's the box at? I'm hoping it had it because I think it showed. Yeah, it also has Hera and Thrawn on the decks on the box art. So it's like, okay, to see Hera deploy as like a pilot or Thrawn, people have wanted Thrawn to just deploy to space. Well, now it seems like he's probably going to be a pilot or maybe like a general. He'll just deploy to, what's his ship? Or you can deploy Hera to the Ghost because the Ghost is in the decks. So, I mean, it's certainly... Yeah, so it is certainly interesting. So pilot is a new thing. You're going to be able to deploy the leaders into a vehicle that you already have, and it's really going to boost up that vehicle and do some kind of crazy things. So that was certainly interesting with that, with the 2 leaders for that. Let's see what Hans is. So
Brian, when deployed, that's not until I still have some time with this 3rd set that I just flipping got. Till March, I think you said.
Yeah. Well, they're doing they're doing about 3 to 4 months between sets because they want to do like 3 to 4 per year. So, and I think that's good. Like, where Magic the Gathering is literally a new set every month, and people just don't have that kind of time and money to invest in a new set every single month. So, and Magic used to be like 3 or 4 sets, like every 3 months, which ends up being about 3 to 4 sets a year. So it gives you 3 months to play with the set.
The Han and Boba Fett this is going to be the 3rd instance. Are there other leaders where there are multiple instances of them so far? Or is it just those 2?
Han and Boba and Asajj. This is Asajj's 2nd leader card. Because she
like you said,
in set.
There are other characters out there, but right, they can use different eras, a young Han, an older Han, or just they can use the character as different leaders, and that helps to create different sets or different decks that ultimately expand the gameplay. I would imagine that it felt very tight at first because I was totally new to all of this, but there was just the 1 set. But as sets and sets and sets grow, then all of a sudden any and all those cards outside of them being banned like that or whatever is available, so decks can get really sort of crazy in their or what they could do or how they play or how they work. So interesting.
Yeah. And
was there I see news about special, or is that the specialty deck that you're talking about, or like packs that were going to be like super all legendary or something like that?
I do have that on the docket. I will get to that.
Okay.
To your earlier question, you're asking about multiple leaders. If Hera and Thrawn are leaders, that will be the 2nd leader of their set because Thrawn was a leader in set 1 and so was Hera. And they're kind of weak. They're nice, but for set 1, they just didn't have enough cards. And that's the thing. You don't want to build an entire set around 1 or 2 characters because now there's cards that in set 1 that people are like, oh my gosh, this is totally working for set 4. And they're like, yeah, that was the intention. So type of thing. And then Palpatine is also a double leader because he has Emperor Palpatine in set 1 And then he has Chancellor Palpatine / Sidious in set 2, which is huge, or was it 3? In set 3, yeah, which is amazing. That's one of my just favorite design cards. And then Asajj is a double leader now too, because she had a release in set 3, and she's going to be released in set 4. So, and that's kind of it. But like, people were surprised. There's like only one Obi-Wan. There's no Qui-Gon Jinn leader type of thing. So I mean, it's Star Wars. There's a lot of characters people want to see, and that's okay. So again, we only got the first 3. As far as the special collector ones, let me switch over to that news, because I must say that certainly kind of intrigued me the most, and that's where I wanted to talk to you the most about it, Ron, because they kind of broke it down of what will be in each pack. And the thing they wanted to stress the most, let's see, it's called Prestige Format. So Carbonite Edition. So again, they all have weird names. So Carbonite packs will now be specialty packs that cost quite a bit more. So people are tossing around the number, but each individual pack of 16 cards will be $25, give or take a couple dollars. So, which is probably shocking to someone like Ron. It's like, what? But to someone who's played Magic the Gathering, I literally paid $40 for a collector pack of Lord of the Rings, and it was dumb. Like, let's just be honest. It's dumb to spend that kind of money on a single pack of cards. But they made this super collectible because these Carbonite packs, I said a whole case probably goes for like 300, excuse me, a whole box goes for like 300. But it's each set, so Jump to Lightspeed is set 4, will only have one set of Carbonite cards that will be printed, and they will not be printed again. So you know how set 1 is being reprinted right now? Set 4 Carbonite collector booster pack cards will never be printed again. So this is going to, I shouldn't say never, but a very likely chance. They straight up said, we are printing these once and we are not printing these again. So this is going to get really nuts to try to find these packs. But the nice thing they did for players is a straight up statement that says no unique cards will ever be exclusive to Carbonite Edition collector booster packs. So that's like saying, if you want Qui-Gon Jinn leader, that legendary leader that has all this abilities, you just got to buy collector booster packs. That's the only way you have a chance of finding him. No, they straight up said, this is only for collectors. All these cards already exist in the game. It's just that they will all be either alternate art, hyperspace, or foil. So this, if you want a whole bunch of hyperspace foil cards, this is going to just be previous cards that will be hyperspace foil. So
how
I don't
know
know.
the packs for those?
16 is still 16. A normal size card.
And then how much are they going to be? You said
$25.
So they're going to be like 40 at the comic shop.
Okay. Well, up to 30. I will comfortably 20 to 30, I think, is going to be decent. I know some spots sell them for less, but they know this is going to be a hot item, because once you tell fans that they're never going to be printed again, and this is your only chance to get them.
60 then.
But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, this is going to go, these are going to sell out extremely quick. And that's the thing. For people who just kind of collect to play, it's like, well, why would I spend money on cards that I already have when I can buy, you know, $1 card online? It's like, okay, you do that. But there's no doubt that collectors exist in all collectible card games. They did say that this will have specialty cards in it, called, so you know how we have hyperspace, we have foil, we have showcase. Well, now in these Carbonite packs, they're going to have prestige variants. So it's going to be an existing card with alternate art, and a different border type of thing. So these might be as rare as showcases. So that's certainly for the people who like collecting, like Ron. I feel sorry for you, but obviously you don't have to get them unless you want to do collectible stuff. And they did release some information. We did release some information about what's going to be in these packs. So here's the breakdown of the pack. Ron, I guess mainly for you and Ricky for getting them. But it says this Carbonite booster pack contains 16 cards, including approximately, so again, take that with a grain of salt, approximately one hyperspace leader. So you know how all the leaders are either normal or hyperspace? All the leaders will be hyperspace, which as a reminder is just borderless. So, which they do look better. So that's nice. They will have a chance for showcase cards in these also. So you have showcase cards, which are the super collectibles in normal packs, and now the possibility of them being here. You will have 6 foil cards. So again, every card is a foil or hyperspace. You have 6 foil cards. You will have 1 foil rare or 1 foil legendary card, the possibility of 1 prestige card, 4 hyperspace borderless cards, and 1 hyperspace rare or legendary card, and 2 hyperspace foil cards. So it's like just a lot of hyperspace rares and collectibles. So, and that's nice. There's no doubt that, like, I opened up a Crate Dragon hyperspace foil and a General Grievous hyperspace foil, and the value of those are like $20 more. Like that Crate Dragon went from like 20 to 40, and the Grievous is like 15 to 30. So the cards are definitely more collectible. They're much more rare than a lot. If you get a hyperspace foil legendary, it's much more rare than almost anything else in there other than a showcase. So it's certainly healthy overall. All these news.
But Ryan,
is
those
healthy.
packs, those packs with all that you're talking about, the cards that are in there, you could get them in regular common packs, right? They're not special art or anything that way, exclusive to that pack. It's just that's a collector's pack that helps you get there easier and basically not have a lot of bulk cards to then deal with. Right? It's not any different art or anything type of cards in theirs. It's just a collector's pack of all those special cards.
Well,
Yeah, the one thing that's
the pristine ones.
yeah, the prestige is the one thing that's a different art. If you and you can count showcase too, but those are like super rare type of thing.
So showcase I can find in a common pack. So this prestige card is the one thing that's in there that can only be found in there. So that's going to make a prestige card even harder or higher or whatever than a showcase, because the only way you can get a prestige, and that's the little symbol down in the bottom right corner you're talking about, whether it's an S, an L, an R, a U, a C, there's now going to be a P.
We're not quite sure yet. I actually pulled a showcase this past couple weeks. Again, one of the rarest things to find in the set is a showcase. I just went in, me and the wife are just like, you know what, let's buy 2 packs from set 1. And I gave her 1 and gave me 1. And we opened up a pack and I pulled a Chewbacca showcase. So there's in the car, like, oh my God, it's a showcase card. It's about $200, I think, $250, depending on if they find anything for it. And looking at it, it still does have the common keyword in the bottom corner, because Chewbacca leader is a common leader for set 1. So this ultra rare showcase does say common in the bottom corner. So
has a C in the bottom. All right. So
So it's the prestige. And again, they haven't released any images of the prestige. We don't even know if every pack, it might contain 1 prestige of various rarity. Everything. Nobody knows yet. It just says, like I said, those 16 breakdowns is 1 leader, 6 foil cards. So that's 7. 1
foil. Yeah, we'll talk more about. So that's going to be, but those we don't see those until March, or is this something before the March drop?
This will happen the same day as when it drops in March.
Right, so we got months. We got months to go for that. All right, cool.
So every Carbonite release, specialty collector boosters. So now every set in the future will have a Carbonite release with it. So it's just Jump to Light Speed set 4 will be the first to do it. And I just went through and counted all the cards that they told us that we we're going to have. And they said we're having 16 cards. And one of those they did say is a prestige card. So I'm going to guess every pack does have 1 prestige card. But it's just based on it. You're talking maybe a prestige alternate art Guerrilla Warrior, which is like a really common card or whatever. Or you could have a prestige alternate art Obi-Wan Kenobi, which might be super rare and legendary. So It looks like, as of right now, everything has an alternate art card, just based on its rarity, legendary and stuff like that. That's really all the news we know about it so far. So overall, this is healthy. There's people who play the game and there's people that collect the game. You need money coming into the system, so I can easily I'm not required to buy these at all. And honestly, I might only buy one pack, $25. I might just buy one pack just to scratch that itch. But I could buy 6 packs of it normally because I want to play the game. So that's where that's going, and I'm happy with that. There's going to be releasing a lot more leaders, and I think that could be really good. So hopefully, as they release more leaders, we kind of touch more on them. I don't know how many will be pilot. It'll just be interesting to see people excited for some of this stuff again. So, like I said, the system, it seems to be getting healthier with the bannings. They're appeasing to a broader range of people. You want to collect, you can buy these collectors. They're never going to be printed again. But
yeah, I'll look forward. I'll be one of those to be like that, and I'll look forward to what that next set brings in terms of its focus and all that. I know this third set, I forget what it's called, but it was Clone Wars-ish, or had a little bit more. And me and my nephew, who's a Clone Wars fan, that age, that was his Star Wars gateway drug, if you will, so to speak. But yeah, he was wicked excited. I'm excited to get a Christmas present. Spoiler alert, but he's not listening, and this is going to come out after Christmas. I'm hooking him with a full box. He doesn't have to share it with his uncle this time. The full box of that third set, this Clone Wars fit, is all his. So I'm really excited for him to have that and open that up. And hopefully he pulls something up, because that's got the clones and Captain Rex, and there's a lot of cool cards in there that I know he's going to be thrilled to have. To open those. Be a challenge for him to not open them Christmas Eve when we get, so we won't have any protectors. I should tell his parents, to bring some card protectors in case he does open a pack and pull something very, very cool. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to set 4 and just how they do different. Star Wars is a vast universe, so there's so much cool stuff that can be portrayed on cards and cool canon stuff. I think there's something too. There was a Star Wars card game previous or prior or years ago, but it got a little. I'm under the impression it got a little out there and took a lot of liberties and just was creating stuff all over the place. I don't want to say willy-nilly, but whereas this one seems a little bit more based in universe, a little bit more based on canon. Do you know anything about that previous? Is there some truth to that?
Based on canon, such as what, like the cards or
the card art, the vehicles, the characters, the things. It's, to me, and again, I'm a noob to all of this, total layman to all this, but I'm under the impression that other one didn't catch my fancy. Somewhat because I didn't have a friend, talking it up and hyping me up about it. But it seemed the creators of it were making up vehicles and weapons and characters and planets and stuff in order to, build a card game. Whereas this one, Star Wars Unlimited, seems to be using real, I guess it's characters I recognize, ships I recognize, the weapons I recognize, planets, all that sort of stuff seems a lot more canon-based, a lot more that way, whereas that previous one was a little all over the place and just had the Star Wars banner on top, but the characters and the people in it were just, who is this? What does he do?
It was a lot of EU stuff, that's why.
Oh, is that what it was? It was a lot of, okay. Whereas this one's using stuff I've seen on screen, I guess. That's the extent of the difference, maybe.
Yeah, a lot of this, and it's, they have the Clone Wars now to dip into. They have a lot more leaders. I mean, they even have stuff content, like Captain Typho. They have DL-44 blasters. So really everything that this touches into, Star Wars Unlimited, is just fun. It's like, okay, you see a card called For the Republic, and it's, a whole bunch of clone troopers, and it's like you can just see that in the show, where you can have warrior drones, Yoda, you can have the Zillo Beast, all this crazy stuff. Roger is a card. So like, it's just good to see this stuff and be like, just kind of be reminded of Star Wars, and then maybe open up something cool and collectible like a foil hyperspace legendary, or something crazy like a showcase. So
I'm just waiting for a Jar Jar leader.
Oh man, people were so upset about that Jar Jar card because it really is ridiculous, because people ask so many questions, because it randomly just distributes damage, and they're like, wait a minute, there is no randomness in this game. How do you? And you can attack the base, the leader, any unit in space of you or me. Like, how do we determine what's random? And they're like, I don't know, roll a dice. Like, it's Jar Jar Binks, doesn't matter. So I think there were some people bummed, but it's Jar Jar Binks. Like, he's not any giant brave leader, and he turned the entire
he saved
Senate
the Republic and the Chosen One and Obi-Wan.
No, he ruined. He
changed-
ruined it by handing
they
it
would've-
over to Palpatine.
They would have all been dead.
Ah, now this is the conversation I'm coming on. In defense
He
of
handed
Jar
power.
Jar.
Everyone voted.
This is
Actually, it was Padme's fault. Padme's the one that ousted Chancellor Valorum. If she would have never did that because she got manipulated by Palpatine, it's all Padme's fault.
Nah, it's
all
more
Palpatine's
Palpatine's
fault, really.
and Jar
Palpatine
Jar's.
did-
Jar Jar
Palpatine
did
manipulated,
nothing.
especially those Jedi.
He's
He
always
did
constantly
everything.
saving.
If he pulled the wool over the Jedi, it's not too hard to pull the wool over the Gungan. They ain't got any wool. They got
He's
ears.
like, darn it, I gotta save Padme again and Obi-Wan again. He's like, you guys just need an army.
Exactly.
I'll die on that.
He's an innocent bystander. We need a where's Jar Jar now follow up. I mean, I'm not talking about the bit in the book where he's supposed to be a juggler's
Street
act
clown.
somewhere in the back of the streets, yeah, and causing or whatever. I mean, a proper follow up to Jar Jar.
I don't think those books count anymore.
No, definitely not canon. They'd be doing
No, they
some
are,
other
but
way.
they're not.
Now they're the new canon. There's some new stuff.
And
I've got
Mr.
read
Bones is in there, so is Snap. So that's one thing that came out from those books. So yeah, be good.
Yeah. So, are you finished yet?
I mean, I could keep going. I love this game.
We should
I
do a
know,
limited
keep
special.
going, but I mean,
You
now,
gotta-
I have
gotta-
got places
even
to
if you
go.
don't, even if you don't play, Steven, just open up a pack and be like, "Oh, Star Wars is fun," type of thing.
Yeah, just
So,
go to your
Can't
local
open up a
Target
pack
or
if I
Won't
haven't
Wait.
got
They
a
don't sell
pack.
them there.
This is for collectors, Ricky, not for you street people who just go walking into the grocery store like, I'm gonna run this place. It's not. You're not just selling it out to the garbage corner stores. You
God
got to
forbid
go.
We have people that
I-
actually play the game and buy the cards.
I
I
got-
do hope they do that. They need to transfer it soon though, because it's limited in itself, so it needs to come to retail. So please,
It would-
Asmodee or
that don't have
Mhm.
stores, but you have a ton of stores around you. Just walk in there, and set 3 is readily available. Just
20
buy
minutes away. Yeah, that's right down the street.
Dude, I'm about to drive 45 minutes to go see Mufasa today. So like 45 minutes is an easy drive for me. Shoot, like 45 minutes is a short drive.
Go see Sonic 3.
Yeah. So, what's next?
Another little just news touch up. They did announce
Hey.
Andor season 2 is coming April 22nd. So that's when
April
season 2 starts.
22nd, is it? All right.
Yeah, they did say, again, that could change a day or two.
Is that Tuesday?
I did not look that far ahead.
It's
so-
got to be. So that's what they're doing in there. Oh, it's going to be a double episode.
Again, that's over 4 months away. So we'll see when we get there.
How many
And
episodes?
April,
How many episodes is it? 6.
I think they're sticking with 12.
12.
Why
Yeah,
does that one
same
get
stuff.
12 and everything else gets like? Well, I guess there's not really that much special effects.
You know,
or-
I miss. There's been some
Or
bits of
aliens.
discussion about this online. I think actually Star Wars Explained, the name jock, were talking about this back when, TV series used to be TV series, and now you're getting like someone's announced and it's like 6 episodes, 8 episodes, and the time that each episode runs is varies and all the time, and it's not.
Yeah.
I missed
2 years
I'm
apart.
pretty much. It's going to be a new series. It's like 16 episodes, 22 episodes, and they're all 40 minutes long. And we're here paying our D+ subscriptions X amount a year, and we're getting less proper episodes. I mean, we're supposed to be getting better because we're paying. Anyhow, go on.
I don't know, because I'm watching like Dexter again, and like those are like 12 per season. You know?
Yeah, what happened to a typical season? Used to be at least 18 episodes, didn't it?
Well, that was like for a
Anything. I'm not talking
sitcom,
about
so
Star
like
Wars, I'm talking about generally.
Yeah, and that's the thing. These aren't weekly sitcoms on national TV on like ABC, NBC, and stuff like that. It's not. They just don't. It's everyone's watching streaming, and they just do this small series that cost, $150 million. So
they're not doing like a Christmas episode or a Halloween episode or a flashback episode or one with the Beach Boys that pop in there or something. Like they're doing.
Yeah,
like
but I mean,
actual-
what the point
there's
they're making.
plenty of sitcoms that's still going on. I just don't have over-the-air TV. Honestly, I never got a dish once it went digital. I never got an antenna, so I don't watch any of those.
I do miss. I mean, this is more a bit Star Wars stuff. Apart from the last episode of Skeleton Crew, which we're not talking about right this minute, most of these episodes aren't really episodes. They're parts. Really, it's what they should be called: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. Because an episode, a proper episode, has a start, a middle, and an end. And a lot of these things that we've been getting from on streaming services, it's not just Disney, but you end up with these bits of things. They're not really episodes in my.
Yeah, they're definitely all designed to be like. Yeah, while we get streaming, I want to see the entire 10-hour show dumped in one time, but they know they'll get more longer
Yes,
viewers
exactly,
if they
yes.
stretch it out. And so it's one of those things where if you want to go through the hassle, you could cancel it and then turn it back on for a month and then cancel it for 2
Well,
months.
I will be. Once I'm stupidly already paid the annual fee a couple months ago, but after that, I'm going to go monthly because I'm just
Okay, well,
fed
then-
up. Not. I'm probably do that for most.
That's good, man.
streaming services.
Fight the fight, brother. Fight the fight. I support you.
Yeah.
Just get it for a couple months and then switch. Watch Netflix for 2 months. Switch over to Hulu. Switch over to Mac.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I'll probably keep them all going, but just pay monthly. And I get really annoyed. You see, you come out. The first thing I do is when a new episode of anything drops, especially Star Wars stuff, I look at see what the runtime is. Like, oh yes, we've got it's over 30 minutes long.
I never do that.
Yay. And then you realise 7
Neither
minutes.
do I.
credits.
I always forget.
I try not to do that because then I'm like 10 minutes in, I'm like, okay, we got like 15 minutes. What's gonna happen?
Well, I'm forever watching, especially Star Wars stuff. This is a criticism of Star Wars and Disney Plus. I forever watch them worried that it's going to end. You start watching it, you think, well, this is going to end any minute because these episodes are never very long, sort of thing. I don't want that. I want to be able to sit down and watch an episode and know it's 45 minutes. Unfortunately, nothing but 45 minutes of an episode, and not have to worry about when it's going to suddenly.
But
suddenly
that
end.
becomes formulaic, and then you're like, okay, they're gonna have a problem, and they're gonna solve the problem, and they're gonna all like hug at the
Well,
end.
it-
Like
no,
you
it
can't do that
works-
every
Like
episode.
Mando.
Yeah, Mando kind of does do that. Like
They definitely have episodic where it's like, here's the problem of the week, but at least there's a big overlying storyline between it. So
And usually you get more time to spend with characters when you've got those longer episodic things. You get to learn the characters a bit more. Whereas actually Skeleton Crew is going quite well in that case, but sometimes you don't actually feel like you actually know a lot of the people because you haven't got much time in a episode and got much time in a series to learn about people.
well, they did that for Book of Boba Fett, and people complained.
I'd say I haven't ever spied the runtime of anything before the episode starts or when I hit play on the episode. And Stephen, my experience is what you described that you want is I'm just watching it and enjoying it, and then it's over. And I don't know when it's coming. That when I do know it's a 30 minute episode or something like that, and know I've been watching for 25 minutes, and I know it's going to be ending soon, and it doesn't taint the whole experience, but it affects the experience that there's something to what's about to how things. And so the Acolyte, while it harshly just ended at times, in its episodes, it was just, all right, that's the end of it. I don't need it. That episodic and that formulaic, as Ricky was talking about, it just becomes forced and wrapping it, buttoning it all up in the time frame. It's just like, all right, yeah. So, well, yeah, they're not episodes, they are parts, but this is the part of the story I got to watch this week, and I want more. The Skeleton Crew. When I distinctly remember Skeleton Crew when they review, it's episode 2 then, and he reveals himself at the end and he pulls his hood off, and I was just like, all right, let's go, and it ended right there, and I'm like, well, sure, that's where it should have ended for the second part, the second episode, or the second part of the story. But man, I did not want it to end. Didn't see it ending there. I was enthralled.
Well, that just means it's a good show.
Yeah,
I just miss proper episodes. Call me a traditionalist. and call me traditionalist, but I just miss proper episodes. And I feel that with these subscription services, they all sell it to us as we're paying for it, but you get better, you get what you want, and we're actually getting less than that we would have had.
Well, you know where they got that formula from, Stephen? They got it from the BBC, because all the BBC shows are like that. Like there's like it's limited run series, and they have like maybe 7 episodes.
They're all doing it now. I just think all these streaming services think they just get away with it.
Well, Doctor Who's done that for years.
if you're doing it for a franchise, like I'll switch gears here, sorry, but like a Friends or just a sitcom in general, Taxi. God, I'm dating myself saying that. You're right. Just any a sitcom, you can go until you can't go anymore, until there's no more, because it's situation comedy, it's drama, it's just whatever. They don't have to shoehorn it in or whatever, so they can create 22 episodes, and it's about a show about nothing or about not being able to get soup that day. Just they can create all those sorts of weird things, but in this franchise sort of era, you need, or a franchise sort of entity that is Star Wars, even Marvel, those types of things. You need a skeleton. You can't have that. I don't think you can have that episodic
filler
realm to things. Well, yeah, people cry filler, but basically we're getting the Skeleton Crew movie broken up into 8 parts. So it's a 3-hour, 4-hour movie.
Like Kenobi.
That's longer. How cool would A New Hope be as a series on a streaming channel? That you could flesh out a little bit more in each area. Wouldn't be faster, more intense. Now, does that work in Star Wars?
That's interesting.
I don't know, but
where would you stop A New Hope?
Look at it. Well, would you have the part, or just stop as you would stop the various beats?
Every 30 minutes.
So if the episodic's not working, then go to the binge aspect, and I think Skeleton Crew will flow right through. A lot of them will flow right through because they're not episodes, as you're pointing out, Stephen. They're parts, and they're parts to a larger story, almost movie-ish. That work, because like you say, and people just need to cry just to cry, whatever, that we get the Clone Wars and like, all right, we got episodic Star Wars, this is awesome, and then they're like, oh, what's a filler about tainted tea? It's just like, well, you can't have 22 episodes of canon mythos, world building, adding to the overall big giant arcing picture of Star Wars. It just, I don't think there's a creative enough writer, I just don't think that would ever work versus having Ahsoka, having Acolyte, having these things that are large.
Well, they have still done it more for Bad Batch. They were longer series and episodes.
Oh yeah. And then you got people, those were kind of episodic because they did have a problem, and at the end they solved it,
Right, but didn't people cry? Again, if we can't listen to that, we can't use that as a thing. And here I'm going to use it as a thing. Oh, that felt like mission of the week. Well, all right, what do you want? Do you want 22 episodes where you're going to have mission of the week on occasion?
Well, that's a complaint for Mando.
Or do you want the story of the Bad Batch and their beginning, their middle, and their end? And to hell with the fluff, the hell with the mission of the week stuff. I don't need that. I want to cut that. People do that with Ahsoka or other things. They cut out the side track or the other stuff. It's like, well, okay, you can, but if you cry just for that, then we're going to get very short seasons of stuff. I'd much rather have as much Star Wars content, new Star Wars content as I could get.
I think I would just like them to say we're going to have a new Star Wars TV series, and it's going to be 18 episodes in this season. And I can sit back and think this is going to be proper episodes. Just be nice, just one TV series that they announce in the future, and they say it's going to be, more than 8.
Yeah, episodes. But what would its content be? What could it possibly? What story is it going to tell that gets buttoned up each week?
Well, they do that with Andor. They're telling you that there's 12 episodes.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be like 3 episodes each year. It's going to be a trilogy for each 5 years, leading right up to Rogue One. So there is something that'd be interesting to see, because that'll be a new take on Star Wars storytelling, to how they're going to.
That one I do admit, when I was watching Andor, I did always pause it to see how much time was left, just because I was like, okay, how much longer is this thing going on?
Thank you. See, this is what
those were longer episodes.
Stuff is. That's what this streaming stuff has done to me. I'm watching it, I'm enjoying it, thinking this is great. Oh, and you're watching something and you think, oh, so XYZ's probably going to happen next, and you get excited for that, and then you think, well, actually,
You
can
have
I
no
get excited
patience.
for that because it's going to
Yeah.
end in a minute?
I have no
That's just
idea
how
when it's going
stories
to end. Yeah, I have no idea when it's going to end.
Well, I mean, Ron, when you mentioned what other kind of era can we tell stories, I feel like there's a huge that they could tell a million different stories between episodes 6 and 7. I mean, people were clamoring for like, well, even if we know Luke's ending, we still want to see the adventures of Luke and like how things were created. So, I mean, just because we knew the ending of Vader doesn't mean we want to see the beginning of Anakin. And I know that argument's going to pop up. Well, we already know what's going to happen to Luke. Why do we want to see his story? Because it's still you're learning
To see
about
the
Luke.
adventures. Yeah, you could see.
Yeah,
It could be the it could be the X-Files model where you have the adventure of the week and then every once in a while there's the cigarette man, part of the story that is part of an episode or a full episode that's dedicated to that. So yeah, you could have adventures of Luke, but he's going to win every time. That's where how do you build drama into all that? But rescuing friends or rescuing people, all that sort of stuff that was the Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan and Anakin type of thing. That you're right. There's a way to do it. I don't know if it can be done can it be done in live action format that will satiate us fans because we're so. I mean these. A 22 episode thing that's going to get expensive because we expect full sets and really good effects
CGI, space battles, lightsaber.
Be,
we can't just do 22 episodes. This isn't a sitcom where they all sit inside of an apartment. Like it just doesn't.
The same sets over. It's not. I think it's Seinfeld. Now they did get out.
They just came out and saying that the reason why Acolyte was canceled was because it was basically too expensive to do.
Which I get it. Just cut back. And I don't know what made it expensive. Everything's expensive, but they filmed like live action on not in the volume several times. So they traveled to different parts of the world to get shots of people walking across the mountains. And then they did, volume shots where they're just in the woods. And there's actually some in the woods that are on location. Like she traveled to California. Mandalorian did it. They shot things in California deserts. So to me, it's just stop listening to the complaints of fans. Yeah. Honestly, that's really it. There will always be people that complain it's too short, it's too long, there's not enough story, there's too much story.
It looks like should have been a movie.
It should have been a series. Yeah, it's like I could see the digital background. I could see the foreground.
I can see the matte painting behind Lando and Han, and I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Well, you can see it now. You didn't see it back then. Hashtag the internet is a megaphone of negativity. That's why that exists. Because that's what people carry on and go on about. No. It's proper putting it out there.
Steven just wants more. He just wants to keep watching for endless hours.
I just want episodes not to vary by their length every week, and you're wondering, is this going to be 25 minutes this week or 30
It's a wonderful conundrum they've put it because they're thankfully are being beholden to Star Wars, that if you're going to put a Star Wars product out there, you can't just fart it out there. You can't you can't cheap out. You have to put a high quality George Lucas type of, not just something with a Star Wars banner on it and call it and let's go. And that's a problem for them. I'm glad they are beholden to that, but it's a challenge for them because in the streaming world, where is that revenue coming from? It's a one-shot deal. Not that pirating is taking much from them or whatever, but people are doing the binge thing where they sign up for a month and watch the whole thing and then they're canceling. So did they, whereas TV shows, episodic television has reruns and whatever that revenue stream is, while it's changed here in this modern day and age, it's still commercials that you can sell and all that. So when they make these expensive shows and, where is that, how many streaming customers does it take to make that? Is it a loss leader where they're expecting it to build stuff for the, I think there's an unfortunate business aspect that factors into some things to all of this, that we'd love to make Acolyte season 2, but not at that price point. It's these shows.
I mean, here's my problem with part of that. Like, I hate the price point thing because these streaming services are making so much money Like, I just looked it up.
Yes.
In the fourth quarter of 2024, Disney Plus has 158 million subscribers worldwide. And everything is made in the United States as far as movies. It's all I shouldn't say filmed, but it's all designed and filmed and stuff like that, and then shot all over the world. But so all that worldwide money is coming to Disney Plus. So there's 158 million subscribers worldwide. If they all just pay on a variance of like $10, they're making $1 billion a month. Like, you can't.
Wow. Okay,
what are you
so
gonna
yeah,
do?
you can't
Like,
argue there's
Well, I mean,
numbers.
but-
Yeah, so then
Star
you do
Wars
have
isn't
to
the
pay
only
if they all
thing
pay,
they're making.
if we all paid $1, they're making 158 million per month in revenue. So in a year, they're making over $1.5 billion. So if a movie costs or a series costs 200, 300 million to make,
Yeah,
who
that's a-
gives a like?
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
sorry,
great
I
point. Yeah,
hate
you're right,
this
you're right.
argument of cost. Like, Star Wars is space battles. We got to see in Acolyte someone fly through the rings of a planet and then fight bugs with lightsabers and people jumping through the air and do stunts. Like, you had nearly the perfect series to tell a new story in a new era, free of everything, no connections to anything in the world, and fans on it for no reason whatsoever. Like, the Acolyte was damn near perfect. It had a fresh character. Hey, I don't want to be connected to the original trilogy. Okay, we'll tell you a new set of characters. You'll have nothing connected to anything. You might see a character that happens to live for 900 years. They might make an appearance. You want something old. You want something new. You want something tied in. You want something fresh. You want something ground-based. You want something CGI. Okay, you get it. Well, we hate it because it costs too much. That's no money out of your pocket. My money goes to a company that makes $1 billion a month. So I don't give a shit if it costs $500 million because they worked for 15 days to make that money because the entire world gives them $1 billion a month. I don't care how much
Right, I
it
agree.
costs because they
I
make
love your-
a ton of money.
Absolutely.
It makes me
love your
so
passion.
angry.
I did a rewatch of The Acolyte while I was wrapping gifts and just dealing with Christmas stuff or whatever. It was on, and it just kept constantly catching my attention again. I was like, man, why is this? I don't get why fans don't like this, because to your point, to what you just said, it was new, it was fresh, it was all the era, didn't have baggage, all this sort of stuff, and we got lightsaber battles and good story. Yeah, it's a very good show. I don't get the hate for that show. I don't want to say I understand why people think they have a thing to complain about, but none of that is just that wokeism and all that stuff that you're carrying. It wasn't Willow. It was not Willow. Willow definitely shoved that stuff and had heaps of that stuff, wokeism stuff painted onto its story. But Acolyte just did not. It was such a good show. It's a very shame. And so many things many story points need to get followed up on that it deserves a season 2. To help expand some great storylines and story points that were created with that new environment, that new era of Star Wars, and in terms of not affecting all the other stuff.
Yeah, and I don't like I don't like the thing where it's like, well, it's woke stuff. Well, it's just black actors. It's just like there was no reference of any gay character.
Oh no!
Yeah, there's no gay character. They're saying, oh, all the witches are, that
was stupid. It was just all
what do you
right.
think
They were
they're
just
doing
forcing
in
stuff.
Dathomir?
And Saul and the father figure and all the stuff they were going. Yeah, so many people read into the minutia of who's the creator. Oh, the creator has an agenda and all this sort of. They learn about it. So that sullies it. I didn't know any of that
down to
stuff
people
about.
that just
I don't know who
do not
made
like
it.
Disney as a company, and they're just
They're
hate
looking
everything.
Again, it gets back to the hashtag the internet's a megaphone of negativity, right? I had no concept or clue of who made the Acolyte. I didn't follow any of that for Empire. I didn't follow any from Return of the Jedi. Any of that sort of stuff. It's just like present the story and then let me base my opinion on the story, not so much all the behind the scenes that goes.
When you have a show that already has a bad Rotten Tomato score before, like a month before the show even comes out, that's when
Really?
That's when there's like nothing wrong with it. It's just people pushing their own agenda against the show and the company. Like, Another movie called The Acolyte got bad reviews that had nothing to do with Star Wars because people were just robot
Googling
hating,
The Acolyte. Yeah.
And
And that's
just
the
put
thing.
I'm
when it
supposed to
comes
hate this because
something-
this YouTuber told me to. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There's that influencer aspect to the, and the influencers are doing, because again, hashtags internet negative. That if you're an influencer, get on there and say this is the greatest show ever. It just you have a half hour.
But why, as a company, would you
talk.
invest in a show doing a second season when you're already getting all this negativity from that internet megaphone? And there's a perception that the show sucks, even though it doesn't, because social media and all that.
Yeah, you're not
So
going to change
that
it,
stops
right.
the company being like, when they have their investors being like, well, maybe we should just move away from that. That's the bottom line. It's about money.
It's
They wanna make
on to
money.
the next thing. Yeah, so it's not about how much it costs.
there's
It's just,
still- it's
let's
not-
on to the next thing.
It's not a movie though, so it's not like this released to theaters and it only made $5 million.
But you got to think they
They're
look at
getting
Star
money
Wars.
no matter what they do.
They do.
Yeah,
They're looking at
that's
Star
true.
Wars content they make. They're looking at Marvel content they make. They're looking at the whatever Disney shows they do and the Hocus Pocus and all those other movies. That's a lot of different IPs that they're dealing with. So they're looking to see, okay, which content from which IP is the lowest. Okay, we'll chop that off. Let's focus on this other thing that somebody else, that it might work.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
and that's the thing.
that's
If they're go ahead.
okay.
If there are some things that they didn't, the creators, if there's some things that they didn't agree with, like what did it cost a lot of money? Yeah, that it was a lot of money, but it also did a lot. So if they want to wind back the budget, if they want to cut $50 million off it to tell the story, okay. But then when it doesn't have any space battles, I don't want to hear a single fan complain about it. Like,
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry,
so much in the
cut things
volume, and
off, it
people
costs
like
money.
you can literally film anything in the volume for cheap. But what do you get? People complaining, oh, it looks like it's shot in the volume. Like, well, you think they're actually going to freaking space and shoot plane ships out there? Like, no, dummy. Like it's all going to be fake. Like, I don't know. I'd rather them.
Directors.
I don't want them to cut the budget on a show and have it look like Star Trek. Honestly, that's my
Yeah,
bottom
exactly.
line.
That's what I say about Star Wars is being, at least they are being revered to it
Yeah.
and spending the money on it. So like you say, it doesn't look like a Star Trek episode.
Like,
or
say what,
and
if anybody hates, I mean, even like I'm not the biggest Andor person, but the show looks gorgeous. You watch it looks amazing. Acolyte looks amazing. So there's people that could hate a show, but it doesn't look cheaply made. And I'm sorry, everybody that's like, oh, well, you can see like the boards inside Tatooine when they're on Boba Fett. Like, who's looking for that? Like, I didn't never notice
you
any.
want to be the one person known for pointing that out or saying it, whatever kind of thing. That just it gets a little tedious, and the internet's guilty of this, where a fan will put out that it looks cheap or it looks the effects are bad, and then it becomes fans are carrying on about the quality of Star Wars or something. And it's just like, no, that was a vocal minority. It was one person, and it gets portrayed as many, and that's the challenge of the internet with anything, not just Star Wars, just anything.
And they'll skip over all the good stuff. Are there some things in the Book of Boba Fett that looked weird? Yeah, some of it looked wonky. Whatever. I'm not going to blame anything that were filmed in the 70s just because filmmaking is different. So I'm not going to say, well, certain things like this in the original trilogy look wonky. Whatever. That's the 70s and 80s. But did some things certainly look wonky in some series? Yeah, but then there's a lot of other good stuff. Like Black Chrysanthemum looked really cool. That Sarlacc was cool. I mean, they did all this other stuff that people just ignore the great things because when you praise something, it doesn't get attention. Like, and that's the problem with the world in general. You can say, when you say something's good and people are like, yeah, that's good, the conversation ends. But when you say something's bad, you have people say it's bad, and then you have people jumping in that say it's good to argue with the people that's bad, and it creates clicks and it creates people and it creates discussion. And that's why you see like IGN and like comicbook.com or whatever release the same articles. So, hey, let's talk about Rey this month because our clicks are down. And we know we're going to get 100 comments when we've only had 10 comments all month. But when we mention Rey, everyone's going to jump in. Or when we make an episode about The Last Jedi and people are like, oh my gosh, The Last Jedi 10 years ago. Well, it's good, and we like discussing good things, not just focusing because
they make like an
I'm
article
40
like,
and I don't want to have a heart
blame for the
condition
war.
stressing out over this stupid stuff. He's the problem. Okay, let's play what if. Let's play what if right now, Ricky. Let's play what if.
Okay.
We have 10 minutes.
Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
asked for
Go ahead.
30-minute episodes. We don't have to go into all this.
Well, hey, no. So I will steer the. Let's get away from it. How about somebody earlier said or pointed out, and I meant to say, or I was trying to say something then. This is our 66th episode. So Order 66. Have you guys the meme or the let's spin this to something fun or whatever? Have you guys? I've only gotten it once in all my career where I've gotten the Order 66 ticket from my meal. You know, going to Burger King. You know, have you guys experienced that? It is fun. I didn't think it was, you know, I see them post, I'm just like, oh yeah, that person got it. Yeah, that person got it. But the time it happened to me, I did kind of like took the picture of it and made a thing of it. It's just like, oh, it finally happened to me kind of feeling. Like, it's not that I won the lottery, but
it's only fun to the person who it's happening to.
Yeah, exactly. That's
it's like, oh gosh, not another Order 66 post.
Has it happened to you guys? Anyone?
No, not me.
Not me.
No, all right.
Never for me. I've tried, but just never for me.
I get the 1138 thing.
How
Where I
about
constantly
Order
see
65?
1138.
So I do see that. I've also been Order 65 a number of times. It's just like, oh, I was, you know,
You're like, can I cancel my order?
you see that you pointed out, Ricky. I have seen the 1138. You know, it just, I don't know. I'm sure I look at the clock and look at things all the time. When you do look at it and see that it's 11:38, you're just like, oh, well, okay, that's fortuitous that I looked at the clock at that time, isn't it? But no, you look at the clock many times. You just don't ever remark it when you see it. It's 10:17. It's not. It doesn't carry the same kind of weight. You might see the clock at 4:20 and think something, but you know, there's only how many numbers work like that for you. So,
My internal Star Wars clock. It always
looks.
I never had it. No, I never have. I don't know. Not even at the demo.
You know what? My only point was just saying that all the same point that Ryan made with the making over $1 billion, whatever it is a month. Or can we just not have 40-minute episodes consistently? None of this playing around.
I mean, I look at the runtime as a whole. I mean, is it a 4-hour? Would you rather sit down and watch a 4-hour movie? If you do, Zack Snyder makes plenty of them, and I can tell you they're like mid at best. But do you want to sit down and watch?
I would if Zack Snyder wouldn't make them.
I just had to throw that in there. So
we've managed, since the dawn of
4-hour
TV,
movie.
Since the dawn of TV, we've all managed 40-minute episodes in series for TV. None of us have ever complained before. So I think there's a format and an episode length that has worked for decades. All I'm asking is we go back to what we know works. Thank you very much.
I think it gets back to the how. I'm thinking of like Magnum PI. You know, I'm thinking of an hour-long drama that I would watch. You know, and a Magnum. You know, whatever was an hour. Moonlighting. I don't know. Something was an hour, and it was just. It didn't have to answer to what happened the week previous. You know, that didn't affect what was going on. So how do we do that in the Star Wars?
Yeah, but I mean, no, it works because like you take Lost. Lost wasn't different. Wasn't a contained episode.
It's a good one, right? It was moving a story along. Yeah,
it's quite possible to do 40-minute episodes and move along. And I totally disagree with any argument for.
Lost is a great example, Stephen. Right? There's something that had a big long. Now, it didn't know where it was going. But
filler episodes that Lost have too. Believe me, I'm on the Lost fan bus. I'm on the bus, you know, for that. I think it's one of the best first seasons ever written, and I agree with the ending. I'm accepting of the ending. I don't have anything negative to say about it.
I was going to bring up Lost earlier because I was just thinking like, well, you had a show that was super expensive to make like Lost. But it was at a time where like everyone was watching ABC Sunday night to watch that episode. You know, there was not all different platforms. Everybody watched the same
world
shows.
Is different.
It's different.
Like I said, I don't even have an antenna to watch NBC. You know, and I don't even have that. So if there was some series on, I'm like, hey, where's your streaming app? And I'll try to watch it on that. And it's like, oh, you can't. Okay, well, I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Look, we're not talking a huge amount here. Now, you take episodes of Skeleton Crew we had in, and not a huge amount short of 40 minutes. It wouldn't take much to add 5 minutes to each episode and bring it up to
average
consistently the same.
Average length, you think, for a show now?
We'll just say that every episode is going to be 30 minutes. Just do 30 minutes, and if you haven't got the intelligence to add value into an episode to make it a bit longer. Okay, your creativity sucks. Make it a bit shorter and just say they're all going to be the same 30-minute episodes.
Well, I was trying to see, like, okay, like if we think about like Acolyte was like just the movie that was chopped up, Skeleton Crew kind of the same thing. New Hope, if you chop it up episodically, and I was skimming through it right now so I can see, where do you think it would end, like episode 1, like the first episode, like the premiere episode of A New Hope? Where do you think it would end?
Well, probably, and not long after C-3PO and R2 get
Well,
Tatooine,
it's only
isn't it?
it's only 2
probably
hours.
right when they land.
Mm.
Right?
But if you did like all 3 movies
Could that
back
be
to
where
back.
the escape pod?
Oh, okay.
No, there's no life forms on there, and end there. And then the next one is we see it
That's a
land on
weird
Tatooine.
ending. The best proper ending that I found is 26 minutes in, and it's Luke staring at the suns.
Well, if you're trying to chop the movie up proper or as it exists in its 2-hour format, that's going to be a challenge to say, yeah, that's a weird ending. Because, yeah, it is a weird ending. But if you're chopping up the story of A New Hope into episodes, is that
Well, they'll be like 5
is that
minutes
too
long.
far in? No, I think that would be enough. You had the blockade runner, you had them, and then she gives it to them. And R2, where are you going? You're not allowed in there. And hold your fire. There's no life forms. And then next week we see it land, and they get up, and we could do a whole Senate session on trying to chop up A New
That's
Hope
like 5
with it.
minutes, Ron, of the movie.
And again, that's where you
again,
have that
you're trying to
5
break up.
minutes.
I'm saying, Ricky, you're
No, but I
trying
was
to
thinking
break
like
up
as a whole, like the
movie.
trilogy. If you break the
If you're
trilogy
trying
up
to
as
break
a
the
series.
But we
Well,
can't
there's-
expand upon it, or as it exists in the 6-hour format.
Yeah,
So
what
you're
you got,
trying to
man?
take the 6 hours and trying to
Yeah.
break it up into. I'll give that
Well,
some
then
thought.
there's time jumps then. You gotta. I'd rather take one episode and then expand it. So instead of 2 hours, make it like, I think you got to have the cliffhangers. So after the destruction of Alderaan, it would be like that's the end of Aunt Beru being a burned skeleton. That's the end of an episode. Stuff like that, and it's.
Jeez, Ryan needs some uppers. Ending on downers there. You want to end an episode on Alderaan's destruction and end an episode on Aunt Beru and Uncle and Aunt Beru's still smoldering skeletons. Okay.
You want to know what happens next?
The feel good touche. Yeah, the feel good hit of the season.
Even if it's only 20 minutes of the film, once you add in the bits beforehand where they have to go, Disney and showing us little Disney intro for Star Wars sort of thing, and then you add 7 minutes of credits afterwards, you're heading up to like 35 minutes anyway. So
Well, the movie's 2 hours long, so but like you got to figure like if they were shooting it like it was a Disney Plus show, there's a lot of stuff they cut out. So if it was a TV show, then you would get Luke like back in Tashi Station getting teased and all that stuff and looking at the space.
Well,
It
I've
would
always
be a-
wanted to see like an expansion where Vader or whoever just walks in and it's just like the Senate has been disbanded, and I'm like, whoa, what? Like that's all I get on that? I'd like to see that scene. So expand on that a little bit. Who disbanded it? What is it? Literally Palpatine's?
You'd get a whole
And what was
flashback
his
episode
reason?
of the Clone Wars.
Yeah, like was it that his little blue partner with the horns, whatever his name is? Like, I want to see that discussion. I want to see the uprising in the Senate, and that's why I kind of like Andor. I get Ricky's problems with it. It's actually my wife's least favorite show. She's like, it's so slow, and I'm like, it is. It really is. But it's like a powerful filmmaking if you break it up into sections. Never More Than 12 was like, oh my god, like it was just amazing how. And I Can't Swim, like or The Eye. It has a lot of great filmmaking.
That's just dumb. Like, why was he planning the whole thing and he can't swim? Did they not know there was water outside?
Yeah.
They
Clearly.
didn't
He
know?
did it.
Clearly.
Maybe he did. You don't
I
know.
just
if he
want to
did.
escape this prison. I just want to escape this thing. I don't think they had windows other than the landing. And you landed and we only know what Andor saw, that he saw out the port and saw the window. We don't know what he saw when he came on board, but clearly he would have made plans, grabbed something that floats or otherwise done something and carried that with him as he runs to his freedom. They're just trying to escape escape what they know, which is that cell, that prison, that floor and everything.
Yeah,
And
imagine-
find a ship and escape.
Got a door and just floated on it like Titanic.
Escaping Alcatraz. I'm sure they didn't think about swimming. They're just like, I just got to get the heck out of here and I'll figure it out. So, but it's
Well,
not
I'll push back on that. They clearly knew on Alcatraz
Yeah.
they were on an island. They
Sean
could
Connery
see.
did it.
In
They could see though, but they in real world, in all seriousness, they could go into the yard and see that they were on the island.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying, in general, sometimes they're just going to escape, and they'll be like, okay.
From the
I'm
mindset of screw it.
I could
I'll figure
that.
that problem out later. Right now, I'm just stir crazy and need to escape this prison cell. I'm gonna escape that and get to the water, and then
So
I'll
did
fig-
he
I-
just
figure it
jump
out. Yeah,
and just like sunk to the bottom, or you think he survived?
that's
I
a
don't know.
big jump.
Well, I guess we'll see if he becomes. Well, I mean, they all had to drop from there, right?
Yeah, and
Well,
land
it
on
might
each
be that
other.
this-
You know, it's better, dude. Don't jump right behind me. Give me a chance to swim
We'll see.
away.
He
You know?
could use somebody else's flotation device.
Right.
I think that body, if you do hit the water and don't survive, I think all the air's slapped out of you.
You would
You're not
die.
gonna
You would
float.
It's like hitting concrete from that.
So you're gonna, you sink because it slaps all the air out of you. But if you can find somebody quick and get their, clothes, but like I say, just grab something that floats. Not that there's a lot of flotation devices in the prison, I'm sure,
Get
but
a-
something.
Helmet or something.
So yeah, not a dumb line at all. You clearly didn't.
And it's the emotion, not about like the real world, us as a viewer. It's about like this
Touche.
guy fought through it all, and he gets literally to the edge, and he's just like, "Oh my god, I can't swim."
Yeah,
You know,
what's that
it's
character's name?
heartbreaking.
Because it wasn't his show, right? That's Andor, and it's a show about Cassian Andor.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
as
yeah,
great as he
I
was
forgot
a
at times
character
that he
and
was
the
in it.
monologue and everything that he is, I can't even remember that character's name. That
Gollum?
for him.
Andy Serkis, and
Yeah,
it's
the character.
I know I'm trying to.
In
It's like
Andor.
right there too.
Is it though? Because it's not. Anyway. So yeah,
This
it
is
wasn't his show.
this is where we
so-
need. This is where we need Marie. She's got the
Yeah.
memory for all these characters. I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't
keep it
know.
straight. But yeah, no, it was a great line for that character. It was a tough arc for us to take as fans of watching it because we really liked the character. Build it up well, but it's not his show. So on to the next part of that story, which I'm looking forward to Andor too. I think that's going to be a top-notch
Kino.
story.
It's
I hope
Kino,
it does focus more on
Kino Loy.
Cassian.
Yep. As soon as you say it, I'm great at multiple choice, but man, trying to pull it out of thin air, there's too much in the brain.
Kino just
Nope.
reminds me of the kid from Ninja Turtles 2.
What was his name?
Kino.
And was it also Kino? Oh, okay. Yeah, the pizza boy.
Steven's not seen it yet.
Not seen that yet. No.
You haven't seen Ninja Turtles 2? Mike? Have
Right.
you seen the Ewok movies?
Yes. Hang on. I've definitely seen the first one. I can't remember when I've seen the second one.
Second one was dark, man. Everyone dies.
Right. Don't spoil it all for me completely. Okay, so
All right, so we're gonna get
All right.
together shortly and give some analysis, some
Skeleton
questions,
Crew
and of Skeleton Crew. Right, we desperately
Yeah.
need to get a Senate session with all the senators, and we've got 4 episodes under our belt, and so we need to get another emergency session Senate of some sort and give some Skeleton Crew go, because that show deserves our insight analysis and just some attention, because I'm finding that to be a real fun romp as well. A good
I've
fun
been
Star Wars
rewatching
story,
it
so yeah.
over and over and over again.
yes.
Like
So for anybody listening, we haven't forgotten that Skeleton Crew is Aaron. We've just covers other stuff, and we'll get to that in the next.
Holidays are just extremely busy. I'm sure everyone can connect. It's just extremely busy. And we
Yeah, I
all
believe
have
our
life
next-
pop up.
I'll file a motion that our next Senate session be solely geared towards the discussion of Skeleton Crew, because we will have 5 episodes to dissect. Not that Skeleton Crew is as deep as some of the other shows we've been watching. It's a fun sort of storyline and quick into it, and here we go, and there's not a lot of wonder what happened or how'd that get there, what's that affecting, but it's still
Everyone
neat,
can swim on Skeleton Crew.
as far as we know.
That is a
Yeah.
good question. Can Neil swim? How does
And
that
Neil
work?
swim. We know he doesn't talk through his trunk, so there's
But
at
what
least
if-
that.
Get his hair wet.
I seriously had no idea he had hair the entire thing.
I think
like
it's like in
really.
episode 1. Hey, I
Yeah.
could see
He has
that.
a little boy haircut. It's the funniest thing.
Yeah.
And he's an elephant.
Can't
Oh,
say I
I'm-
ever heard of no Ed Atten.
Oh, I can't wait to discuss that with everyone.
I'm gonna go rewatch it again today.
Yeah, yeah. Please do go rewatch. I have a great not trivia, but just a great topic point or question of everyone regarding that little bit of fun. So yeah, that definitely think we should do that the next Senate session, to give that a good proper once over twice.
Right, so we're out of time then for this. Well, we've done everything we're going to do, but we're out of time anyway. So
we're not doing a quick round table.
The time for, is it going to be quick?
Well, yeah, I'm teasing because you're saying at the end you said we do the round table at the end, and now you're trying to sign us up. Ryan already gave his round table thing. I'm going to quickly give mine. I scored that Micro Galaxies Ghost, or man, I forget the line. I got to remember the name of the line of the ships that they do, that are smaller scaled ships or whatever. But it was the Ghost with its crew member. It's an awesome, gorgeous piece. Being blown out, I don't know what happened, but I scored that bad boy for $15.
I do keep seeing those
from Walmart online. And was just thrilled to score a couple of those for the reasons I need them for. So yeah, that was my fun bit of Star Warsing that I wanted to get out there. I can't. It's a shame to say it now because I'm sure it's a deal that no longer exists. But for whatever reason, here in the holiday season, Walmart online was blowing that thing out. It was just silly as a thing, but they have their metrics.
Those are really cool toys. But there's a dilemma with it because you're not going to want to get it for a really small kid because there's tiny pieces.
Yeah, no, it definitely has that challenge, that hassle aspect to it. That you just can't. It can't go to a little kid. Even the ship itself has its own little. You don't have to give the crew members that come with the figures that come with it, but the ship itself.
Who did it come with, Ron?
Necessary. I don't have it in front of me, and I don't know that if I have it with me. But it's a gorgeous. It's huge. It's a gorgeous ship, and again. And I was, it speaks to the metrics toy managers and people must look at, because it's a holiday season. You'd think you wouldn't clear that thing out at $15. It was like a $60 thing. It was expensive. I don't remember its list price, but 15 was a great price. But clearly it wasn't selling. Clearly the Ghost, the Rebels, all of that ship has sailed for the lay fan. And it just was collecting dust in a warehouse. They needed to, free up space. It's a business. They got to clear that out of there. So they blow that thing out. Whereas me, the Star Wars fan, thinks that's silly. Sit it on a shelf in the stores. People will buy that as a gift for Christmas. Clearly they won't. They haven't. It's been collecting dust because Rebels is so, we're so far removed from it.
Well, I got that Falcon last year at a pretty good price too, because that was getting blown out. I love that Falcon.
And the Falcon, to me, that one more so than the Ghost is definitely an evergreen shelf product that could sit on the shelf, even though you bought it in 2021 or let's say or whatever as a toy aisle manager. The Falcon is like R2 and Chewie, that could sit on the shelf. It'll everyone recognizes that and it'll move, but it's a business and they're like, we gotta, I'd love to hear that side of the process to some extent of why something like that gets blown out, why something like that is moved off the shelves versus say a Ghost or something very unique or specific, because those are evergreen things, whereas I don't know, some other ship, the Naboo Starfighter, that's an episode 1 sort of era and then it comes and goes. But anyway, that's my bit of Star Wars.
I did see some Acolyte lightsabers at Kohl's the other day, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I scored a Master Saw at Marshall's which is a discounty type of thing. I saw them and saw the Black Series at Walmart for a very brief instant. I'm sure they moved. So yeah, it's the nature of a lot of product, and kids aren't playing with toys, and
parents aren't buying them for kids.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Parents, go buy your kids some toys.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's what it really is. I was happy when my kid asked for action figures. I'm like, all right, man, okay. A little late, but I'll take what I can get.
Don't complain about your kid being on their tablet all the time if you're not buying them toys.
If you're not taking them to because you're
Yeah.
on your phone tablet buying stuff and having it shipped to the store. How much fun we're all old enough, I'm sure, I think, right, to where you went with mom and dad to the store and you got to go to the toy aisle by yourself, or you walked through you saw things and said, I want that, can I have, and then kids don't get the opportunity to see what's available to them like that as nearly as much because they're not going to the brick and mortar stores because everybody's shopping online. So yeah, there's it's
If they do,
it's
they tell the kid,
2025.
like,
It's a
oh,
different
that's too
era.
much, and then they go off to Starbucks and get like an $8 coffee. I'm like, you could have bought the kid the toy. What kind of terrible parent are you?
Mhm. No, yeah,
You
kids
know.
just aren't exposed to it, aren't exposed to what's out there. So like this Ghost Ship, probably there's probably a bunch of Rebels fans that never saw it. I just know I'm
Yeah.
thrilled to be able to hook a Rebels fan up with here in a couple of days. It's going to be a fun surprise.
Have you opened up any of set 3 with him, with your nephew? Or
Yeah, I got some packs. Like I say, whenever I'm somewhere and I see him, I buy a couple of packs and we split them. I tend to be back to Star Wars Unlimited for those. I'll buy 6 packs because the characters in the box, the packaging comes with a character on it, and so far the sets have broken out to where there's 3 characters on there, and I can't remember who's on this set 3, but I'll buy 2 of each and let him pick which 3 packs he wants, and then I get the remaining 3 packs of characters. And he invariably picked the clone. He took all of the clone that was in this one. I think it's Cody or whoever. Anyway, so yeah, we've opened a couple of packs, and that's where I explained to him that, and he saw them as he opened them and as I opened mine, that you're going to like this one. This one's a little bit more clone centric. And, as we're opening the packs and seeing the cards, he saw characters that he liked, and, he was excited about them. I think I pulled a Rex, and he was really, excited about that. I was like, you'll get one. I'm sure you'll get one, kind of thing. Because we're very good about your cards are yours. These cards are mine, and we'll trade them, at that point or whatever. But no, I want him to. I don't want to say I want him to pull a showcase. I want to pull a damn showcase, but I want him to pull a showcase so that he gets that excitement aspect of pulling this ultra rare card. He knows it. He understands it from Pokemon World. So excited for him to get the box and crack packs on his own.
Yeah, there's some Maul is probably like the one I want the most because that Maul card looks amazing by that artist.
I need it to match my bat that I have in my box.
I was just the collector, the fan of me. I would like an Obi-Wan showcase.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Steven.
best of luck. I have a box waiting for me for Christmas too that the wife picked up when they were on clearance for like Black Friday. So, and she did crack into. She took I think 2 or 4 packs off of it just to open them with the kid, but it's still got 20 packs in it or whatever.
Nice.
So I'm excited to sit down with the kid and open all them up, even though he has barely any Star Wars knowledge. They are enjoying Skeleton Crew, and they do ask questions, and whatever they see in Fortnite, they know, type of thing. So, but he knows what the rarity are, and that's what he gets excited. So if he pulls a legendary, he's like, yeah. So it's fun. I just like opening packs with the kids. So.
Yeah,
it's exciting.
It is fun.
Steven,
So I hope everyone has a good
around
Christmas
the table.
holiday.
Wait, I had something. I did the Hunter's playtest for PC.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that was awesome. So I can't wait till next month when it actually launches on PC, and then I can properly play. And probably
will it allow for that? I can play on the PC and play with you on the Switch or however that
it's
works.
supposedly it's supposed to be cross-platform when it launches, so we can switch.
Okay, that was my big question during official release. Will it be able to do that? So that's good. Yeah, I enjoy it.
I'll be cannon fodder. You can send me out to do whatever and draw their fire.
Yeah,
but
streaming it on Twitch or something would be awesome.
I would absolutely play it. I mainly play on Switch because I'm so terrible at aiming. I need the gyro controls to help me aim. But I play a bunch. I level up my character.
Pretty good jumping.
It just kind of sucks. Is like I got, because doing the playtest, everything was unlocked, all the skins, all the outfits, everything, and so now I'm spoiled and I don't have my Darth Vader Reeve outfit.
Hey, will you guys? Because I'm sure I'll see it in this post-secondary holiday season. Whatever. Will it work on any Switch? I think there's only. Is it like Game Boys where there's a bunch of them, or is it just the 2 types of Switches?
It's just the light and the LED one and the normal one. But yeah, it works
there's
on
3. Okay, but if I find a cheap Switch, it doesn't. I don't have to make sure it's got this
No.
capability or anything like that. Okay.
No, I have a Gen 1 Switch, so and it works on there. So.
I think you have to pay for online play though for Switch.
Do you? For online? Oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you have to have Nintendo Online. That's right. I play annually,
Yeah.
so I forget.
Which is like $12 a month or so, or it's $12 a year, ain't it?
It's like $60
It's like-
for the year, something like that.
But
for
in
the
order
family.
to, I mean, soon as the PC based thing happens or whatever, but in order to play together, right? We all had to be on Nintendo Switches or whatever. That they hadn't done the cross platform with the
Well,
Well,
Steve
yeah.
PlayStation or whatever.
I play on the
Stephen played
iPhone.
on a phone.
mobiles
yeah,
and Switch are cross-platform.
Oh, mobiles. Okay, that's what it was. I think I tried it on my phone, and my fancy phone wouldn't allow it for some stupid reason. Anyway,
Yeah, it didn't work on mine either, or Ryan's.
that's what it was. Now you're sparking me back to all that. And I was just
I
kind
haven't
of
tried it again. Maybe they might have did an update.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to do. Is to try to see if it
The
exists.
other thing, Ricky, is all your characters are going to be like level 1, so they're going to be, while the damage output is the same, all their abilities are weaker. So
Oh, would they not take his?
No, they will. It's
Will they not
supposed
take
to.
his
Yeah,
account?
I'm supposed to be able to carry over with the Zynga account and have it linked to my PC and the Switch.
no, I would say when everyone was a level 25. For anyone that played or might have seen the
everybody was
PC like
level
beta
25.
test, everyone was level 25. So that means all their abilities are maxed out, which you'll move faster. So
Yeah, so you get hit by Diego like once and you're dead. that's how it works.
I hate them so much, man.
Yeah.
I did hear that they're totally. I didn't say here. That's what they're doing, but they totally revamped Sprocket, the
I saw
Akbar
that.
character. He's totally different from Switch. So whenever this season 5 comes out or whatever it is, that character got a
Yes.
total work. So I'm
They
actually.
changed his ultimate,
they have-
didn't they?
I only have him as a level 10, so I've been playing as him to try to level up recently.
Hillbush
So,
was fun, just bombing people. I gotta unlock Hillbush.
We'll
Still
have to
unlock
dress.
these.
We'll have to dress as the High Republic. So I got a lot of High Republic and Nile skins.
Oh, I have
So-
the J3DI High
They
Republic
might
one.
have to have a special Hunters Online
Yeah.
session as well when we all get
Something
on.
had something for free. Xbox service had Bounty Hunters 2. I don't know, had some shoot. I shouldn't bring it up because I don't know what it was, but something I just remember seeing a post on it online. And I went and logged in and went and found it and added it to my library of games I never get a chance to play just because it was.
Epic had Lego Star Wars, the latest one, for free for like a week. So that was one that was out.
And you posted about that where? Told me about it where? I missed it in chat where? Man, don't hold on to that. It's Star Wars and it's free. I don't care what it is. I will sign up for it, Ricky. I will collect that. I will add it to the. I will add it to the. Add it to the.
Hey, we didn't know you had a Series X. either.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I own.
Have you played Outlaws yet, Ron? You gotta play
I got
Outlaws.
I got a PS5. I don't have any time.
Oh.
Well, the kids, it's technically the kids, but yes, I have access to a PS5 with Outlaws, still sealed maybe. What did the PS5 come with that you could fly or that was Star Wars related like 2 years ago now or a year ago? Yeah, it's 2 years ago, whatever.
Was it
It's like X-Wings or Squadrons or something, right?
Squadrons,
Was it
yeah.
that?
A game I never finished playing.
Haven't been able to log a minute with it.
I'm not good at flying games.
Because the games you can't just pop. So I just want to pop it in and start playing. You have to sign up and you have to register. You got to go through it's a time commitment just to start a game, just to play a game. And
Boy, Hunters is good. You can pop in and pop out. Pop
Yeah,
in, kill,
yeah.
back out again.
that's what I like. Yeah, if we could get a gamers night or something going, right, we can pop in, start playing for an hour or two, and then pop out. Yeah, we'll be cannon fodder. Skills are. It's not a joystick and a single button.
Even just me and Steven together, like we were ranking all sorts of wins, just me and Steven. So
Yeah.
the biggest thing is just getting people to understand their roles in the game. So even if we're all a bunch of mid-tier, we team up and we just do what we need to win. That's fine.
I was playing some objective. What I forgot what the word is called. Objective. What's it called? What's
Objective,
it
right?
called when you have to get the stand on all the different points? Control.
Oh,
Control.
yeah.
Control, yeah, with people they're just too busy fighting each other and stuff. I'm the only person. I joined up as scorer again, as support and stuff. Why do I have to do all the work? And then you can't do it by yourself. You cannot win a game by yourself. It's like really annoyed at other people today.
Because people, they want to play, they want to shoot, they want to, they want that part of it. So they don't.
About what the objective.
Yeah, if we have a teamed approach, then yeah, we can solve.
We should try playing.
Yeah,
now.
I can't. Oh God, no! I got so much to do. It's not even funny. But yeah, can't promise I won't go Leroy Jenkins and just go Mel at some point in time.
That's why we'll get on at the same time. You have us free to protect you. We'll just send you somewhere safe and.
I say that because I'm reminded of it, having just watched The Acolyte and rewatched while I was gift wrapping or whatever. And shoot, who's the kid? That's with them that was crying about we're searching for plants and there's nothing to do here and I just want to go back to Alderaan. And he was crying and he finds out that there was a way to get back to Alderaan and he just leaves camp. He's the one that creates the mess. What's that kid's name? You know what I mean? He went Leroy. He just like hops on a speeder and goes to the witches and was gonna steal the girl or something and messes it. Just
one with a fake beard.
One that killed him.
No. Oh, was it him with the fake beard? No, it was the Padawan.
No, it was him.
The Padawan.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because he got beat up by Not Chrysanthemum.
He did that.
Got beat up by the Wookiee. Anyway, yeah. I just had that pop into my head that I forgot about that part of that series to where he just kind of was like, "Yep, nope, I'm done with all this. I'm going." He's the Jar Jar of the Acolyte in terms of the root cause analysis of what all transpired. That he doesn't go running off like that. It doesn't go sideways in the hurry that it did, in the way that it did. Anyway, fellas,
we're done.
Session. Yeah,
we're done, folks. It's time to say goodbye.
Turkeys are done. We're finished.
It's time to say goodbye.
So goodbye from Ryan.
Do it.
Yep,
Goodbye.
Yep, man.
Goodbye now.
Bit delay there. Goodbye from Ricky.
Execute Order 67.
Yeah, that'll be next episode will be. And goodbye from Ron.
Cheers. Stay safe out there, everyone.
Absolutely. And
happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah. Happy Christmas.
We get some cool. We're gonna have to do roundtable next episode.
What's the holiday special?
Let's do a Christmas one, won't we?
What are we all gonna open for Christmas? I don't know. Tune in next time. Same great place, same great channel. We'll find out what happens.
Go switch off. I am the Senate.
Be sure to follow us online. We're at Facebook at PSW Senate. Join our PSW Star Wars Facebook group where we all are in there interacting. You can find us on Twitter at PSW Senate. On Instagram, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. And on TikTok, we're at PSW Senate Podcast. We look forward to hearing from you.
The Force will be with you, always.
So was Palpatine mentioned in the original novel?
Say again?
Sorry, Ron. Sorry, Stephen. Can you? What was that again?
I just saw a Reddit post this morning, and they were saying that this chap's son, well, I presume he's like 9 or 10, or something like that, was watching the prequel movies, and he didn't realise that bit between Mace and Palpatine, that Palpatine was the Emperor. So I thought, that's really cool. So we had this conversation before. When did we all discover that Palpatine was the Emperor and all that? So nobody can remember. And then somebody said in one of the comments that Palpatine's name was mentioned. I'm sure it said it was mentioned in one of the scripts, original script for A New Hope.
It was in the book, wasn't it?
It's in the book, yes.
Yeah.
It's in which book? Empire or New Hope?
No, it's in the first book.
The original New Hope, I thought.
The original New Hope novelization. It's in there. I think it's even in the prologue to the novel.
That's what I heard.
Well, and so I didn't read the books. Shocking everyone in here today. I just the first movie we thought it was all about Vader, because I don't even think the Emperor. Maybe there's the line when they're sitting around the table about how the Emperor keep control of the systems, this battle station, and the fear of it. So there was somebody else, but we didn't think of it at all or know about it. We didn't, Vader was the main dude. So when we get to Empire and we find out Vader answers to somebody, it was like, well, who is, what's, there was a bit of a wow kind of moment to that, to some extent, that Vader wasn't the big bad. There was a bigger bad to that. And again, not reading the books, Empire, I don't remember anything and I don't think we knew about the Chancellor and the Senate and all of that sort of stuff. That I don't think my recollection, I'm saying we as a collective original trilogy generation, those that read the book, if it's in the books, then clearly it's mentioned or it's
in the prologue. I just confirmed it.
It's laid out there. But what's in the prologue? That the
just
Emperor
once.
was the Chancellor?
No, it says that there was a power-hungry senator called Senator Palpatine, or an ambitious senator who caused himself to be elected president of the Republic.
Yeah. President. Hey, this is quite popular at the moment. Francis.
So
once secure in office, he declared himself emperor. Do you want me to read the paragraph? I can do that.
Well, for movie people like me, so yeah, we don't know that, but for book fiends, so it wasn't a reveal. George didn't need to make it any sort of reveal or any sort of to do because it was already out. It wasn't going to be I am your father moment. Because it was a known quantity, a known entity for those that prescribe to it. I remember my kids eventually realizing it because somewhere the Emperor they picked up on the chin. Somewhere my youngest daughter, I remember her asking, they picked up on that. Well, he's a little craggy like that, but when he's hooded, and she's like, "Is that the same guy as that?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't, keep watching." Felt like such a heel, but no, I'm not ruining this for you. I want you to have that aha moment. You want to get, you guys have heard my spiel.
Is that the same guy? You do the math. Don't make her feel dumb.
Yeah, you only get that aha moment once, So no, when you finally get confirmation.
How similar do the voices actually sound? I mean, just to me, just because we know, I just think of them as exactly the same voice, Palpatine and the Emperor.
And that speaks to my you only get one chance because now after the fact, it's kind of hard to look at it and say, well, how did you not know? But how much of that is you being skewed with you already know versus that voice does sound, need to put it in front of somebody that's never seen it and says, does this character sound like that character? Do you think that's the same? But even that, you're leading the witness. Why are you asking me this question? Here's one that's cloaked and hooded, and the other one we can see.
Imagine if like the first Star Wars film was The Phantom Menace, and then there's like people discussing this on the internet now. Do you think that Palpatine guy is the Emperor? Or no, to be stupid, that would just be so too obvious, and all that kind of stuff. People be saying.
I think that Palpatine guy is Sidious because they kind of look the same and they kind of sound the same.
I don't know because I've watched people watch Phantom Menace for that's their intro like on YouTube for the first time, and some of them get it, some of them don't get it. Some of them think like they're two different characters, and then when they reveal it, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" You know, I think it's like a kind of a big reveal. But some people like put it together. You know,
that was my point I was trying to make earlier. That for those that are in the know in the books, it's not a big reveal. But if you're just watching the movie, casual lay fan, or whatever, yeah, there is a bit of a to the Phantom Menace of oh wait, who is that guy? Seems like it's that same guy. What's going on here? So I need to rewatch him then. So if you're in that mindset, or if you're of that knowledge base, when does it get confirmed for us?
Well, it doesn't get not until Revenge of the Sith, is it? If you're watching the prequel, if you're watching in order.
If you're watching the prequels, not till Revenge of the Sith. If you're watching the original trilogy, it wouldn't be until Return of the Jedi that you get confirmation that there's like an emperor behind everything, and here he is in all his glory.
Yeah.
Yes, but they wouldn't say at any point if you're watching it from the original chronology, they wouldn't chronological order though. Nothing in that Return of the Jedi was saying he was Palpatine, would it?
Right.
In the film.
I don't think they ever said his name. They just said he was the emperor.
Yeah.
They never say Palpatine.
But the books spoil
Palpatine.
Yeah, this books don't spoil it, but the books provide more information that you would know that, but not from the movie standpoint. That's an interesting wrinkle. That's just an interesting thing about Star Wars.
It's similar to the conversation we have, when did you know that Vader was Anakin Skywalker / Luke's father, sort of thing, isn't it? But slightly less. That gets discussed a lot more than when did you first discover that Palpatine was the Emperor, sort of thing.
Yeah, that one is when did you? Because you don't discover it so much as when does it become valid to you or truth for you? I was a non-believer. Vader was the bad guy, and he was lying to Luke about it in Empire. And it's only until Jedi comes out to where we get confirmation that he is in fact your father. You know, his father he is. Told you did he, or whatever we get out of that. That was just like, oh, well, my playground friends, crap, they were right, kind of.
Well, imagine if Vader wasn't Luke's father. I mean, the whole meaning behind everything would be slightly different as well. We would have none of this Skywalker saga stuff either, would we? Because there wouldn't be any.
No, man, I've listened to it like 3 or 4 times. The tome that is the history of Star Wars or whatever that's on an audiobook, I've listened to that a number of times. And yeah, George went round and around because he was I think it was true that that Vader did kill his father. And there were a number, he went through a number of iterations and all of that until he finally settled on what we got.
Because was it supposed to be like, no, like he killed your father, That
he truly did fight with Obi-Wan, fought beside Obi-Wan, as he did in the Clone Wars or whatever, but was truly killed off by this yet third party Vader, and that was going to drive Luke's hatred and all that. But he eventually got to the better myth and trope. It's not a trope by any stretch, right? But just the better story that is Vader fell. What I told you is true from a certain point of view. Just all the beauty that is the original trilogy, Star Wars beats that get us to the point where it is your father. Your father, he is. Told you, did he? Unfortunate or something like that. What's he saying?
I don't know these people. I don't know these people like you watch those reaction videos. I can't believe I watched those things on YouTube now. I so moaned about them for so long. It's ridiculous watching people watch things for the first time. So even I've started doing it a bit now. I don't know. I can understand people maybe not on those reaction videos, maybe not knowing the Emperor Palpatine thing, but how the heck would they not know or not even heard about Vader being Luke's father?
They don't. It's weird. Like,
watched it.
Or they don't even know that Anakin turns into Vader. I watched one where when Anakin gets to the point where he kills Mace Windu, they're like, "What is he doing?" And then when he says like,
"Are you sure they're not just putting it on?"
No, these are young people that don't know.
No, there are people who don't know. I mean, there's young kids out there who don't know because they're not part of our generation and they didn't grow up with the things that we did. And
they've never heard the name Anakin.
But I mean, it's even like my mum or my dad who didn't probably never watched a Star Wars film all the way through ever would know basics of these things. Everybody knows. If you walk anywhere in a shopping mall and just go. People know you're talking about Vader, don't they?
Well, yeah, but they don't know that the character you're watching in episode 2 or 3 turns into him.
I think to Marie's point, Not so much nowadays. Maybe closer back to because I was like you, Stephen. I'm like, how much of this is being just a put on just because? And I think 10 years ago or so, it would be harder to sort of genuinely believe you hadn't heard that Vader was Luke's father and don't know anything about this Anakin thing. But now here closer in, let's say 2020, 2024, that if somebody's watching something like that for the first time, they could very well be removed. It's not necessarily a part of pop culture and in Family Guy or TV shows and people saying, no, Luke, I am your father, and Tommy Boy, just things like that aren't as prevalent as they were closer to it all. That younger, a more modern video.
They've never seen Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Or like that episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson ruins the ending of Empire Strikes Back. Remember?
Yeah, those kind of things are so far removed from it. What those movies are 99, so they're 20 years. Yeah, that just there is potential now for the legitimacy of somebody watching a movie classic and getting revealed what Rosebud's the sled, that Vader is his father, just those kind of reveals. For those of us who have been around and a little long in the tooth, we know them, but there is some legitimacy to people seeing that for the first time. That hopefully, I would like to believe them, Stephen, like you, that they are sort of genuine, because it is neat to see those reactions. It is neat to. I wished I would have captured. I didn't even. We've talked about this before. I didn't even think about it. Rebels or whichever season 1 where they reveal who Seesaw is, not Seesaw, Fulcrum. That's Ahsoka, and she comes down the ladder. I wished I would have had a camera for my face, my daughter's faces, and everybody, because that was a very cool aha. Would have loved to have had a that type of created that type of reaction video to that type of moment, because it would have been legit, because it caught us completely off guard.
There's also, I was just thinking, there's also the this is kind of relevant to Christmas, because you've got the whole Santa, Santa fake, Santa, people know who Santa really is and all that kind of stuff. This time stuff, because you also got Leia and being Luke's sister and stuff, and I meant nobody thought.
Yeah, no, there is another.
In the original movie, it was always Han. It always felt like it's always clear to me. It's always Han and Leia who were had the more chemistry than Luke sort of having the hots for Leia or anything like that. It seemed like a natural thing to me that Leia did turn out to be his sister.
Brother and sister. They didn't really have any natural chemistry as romantic chemistry.
No.
They did in Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
I've not read that.
Oh, they kind of did, yeah, but that was a book, not a.
For a time, it was the sequel.
Yes, exactly.
That wasn't as much of a big shock as well. But it's just strong. They have the three main reveals: Emperor Palpatine, Vader, Anakin, Leia, sister. When you have a big
Leia's
reveal,
my sister. That's why it felt funny to kiss her.
Yeah.
Anakin is Vader.
To get kissed by her.
Yeah.
Because he didn't kiss her.
Not uncommon, like some places, Italy or something like that. It's not uncommon.
And then that scene is so like tongue in cheek, and he like puts his hands up. He's like, "Oh, look at me,"
Yeah. Yeah, he's only doing it
just teasing Han
for Han, wasn't it? Yeah. Don't think there's any other kind of.
Hey, look! I've got a commander. I'm a commander. I got kissed by the girl.
Yeah.
Look at me, and you're just Captain Solo.
Okay.
So we talked about reveals and all that sort of stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more in depth next week when we get into Skeleton Crew or whatever. But was it a cool reveal for everyone? Did anyone get spoiled or whatever? The Kim owl cat lady character thing or whatever. That was a very neat surprise. Kind of like
the character.
I saw the character image, but I didn't know it was going to be like at that point. So I thought it was kind of neat. I was like, oh yeah, that's the image I've seen. So, but
I didn't put two and two together.
Not spoiled for me at all. So I was very surprised and happy to see them use a dynamic and just a neat character. So yeah, we were anxious to talk about that. We're happy to talk about that because it was a neat reveal. Having stayed away, not purposely stayed away, but just thankfully, like Grogu and other stuff, they've done well to sort of keep that stuff at bay from getting out on the internet proper. Ryan, you said you saw it. Was it in a trailer? Did I miss it in that sense, or you just somewhere along?
It was in the trailer.
I think it's just images that I seen flashing around, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to see any, because I didn't watch I didn't watch any of the secondary trailers or nothing.
So, Ricky, you confirmed that it did make one of the trailers?
Yeah, because I didn't really watch anything else other than the trailers. And I saw it.
But you had seen it. Okay, so yeah, missed it.
Yeah, because I remember saying that the owl's dressed like Count Dooku for some reason, because it had the same cape.
That was its wings.
No, it was wearing a cape, wasn't it?
It was wearing a cloak?
Yeah, wasn't it wearing a cloak?
It might have been, actually.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and look.
Because they're dressed like Count Dooku.
Shocker, Steven's eating.
Do only bad guys wears a cape? Because Krennic wears a cape. So is she a bad guy?
Did she have a cape? We'll have to go back and watch. Is the cape confirmed?
Hang on.
I don't know that I remember
name?
a cape.
Lando wore a cake. I'm thinking about my bun now. A cape.
Andor did?
Who did? Andor.
Lando.
Oh,
Lando was a bad guy.
Lando wore a cape.
So
but he was only halfway evil because it was a short cape.
When he's bad,
he stabbed Han in the back. Like he was Thor.
That's true.
When he's bad, he had the cape on, but when he turned good, he didn't. There was no more cape.
Oh, good point.
And is that
but
true?
Leia wore capes too.
Conversation. I'm just saying.
Leia wear a cape.
She wore one on Cloud City. She wore that big.
Well, he gave her he was trying to turn her to the cape side.
Was that a cape? Was that a
He
cape?
gave her
that. Something your arms went through, wasn't it?
It was sort of a big tunic. It was a very long tunic. It was a dress. But it was kind of capey.
It's not a classic superhero cape.
No, it's not a cape.
Hey, Kira wore a cape too.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Kira.
Oh yeah. But she wasn't exactly good either, was she?
Well, she was until she, kind of
wore a cape.
Yeah, until she wore a cape.
Until she wore a cape.
Oh man, we're onto something here. I'm worried about this owl character now.
What about? Did anybody wear any capes in the sequels?
See, look at her picture. She's wearing a cape.
Oh, she is.
Oh yeah.
Cape, or is it like a cowl? I don't know. Does it have a hood on it? Cloak.
I'll go with cape in that picture.
Cloak,
I mean, that's
cape.
pretty stark evidence that it's a thing just around about that thing at all. It's awesome.
Just the eyes, the way it talks, everything. So
yeah, everything about it was so wonderful, believable.
I'm trying to think of any good people wearing capes in Star Wars.
The heroes don't wear capes.
Hang on a minute. I can't remember. It's at the end of New Hope or one of the ones where they're discussing the attack on the Death Star when they're all dressed around. The chap with the pointer thingy and the beard and stuff.
Donna?
He's got sort of a cape on.
Dodonna?
The beard. He's not the old guy. Not the old guy. Must be.
No, Dodonna doesn't wear a cape.
The guy with the fake beard.
Sort of blonde. He's sort of got a blonde beard. The other chap, not.
Madine.
The
second Death Star. Yeah, Madine.
The second Death Star. Yeah, he's got the little like he's doing some sort of troop.
He always sounded like Bullwinkle to me.
He's not wearing a cape. I'm looking at a picture of him.
I'm sure he's got something on.
No, he has a weird beard.
No one looked at the characters in that scene. They only cared if the table was round or oval. That's all they cared about.
I thought he had a cape.
No, we're not talking about the commanders on the Death Star. We're talking about the Situation Room when the rebels are planning the attack on the second Death Star.
Yes.
As you can see here, the Death Star.
So that's the first one. No,
it's not Akbar. That's my terrible Akbar.
I thought that was pretty good. I heard it.
Yeah, that's very good. No, I'm sure he had. I'm gonna have to look a minute. What's he called?
I'm pulling up the picture right now. Hold on.
General Madine.
I'm just trying to.
Nadine, but with an M like in Mary.
Matthew Modine.
Not Modine, Madine.
What a terrible haircut.
I'm sorry. It was $10. What? I mean, it was cheap.
Yeah, he just cape in there.
I think his figure comes with a cape.
Nope, I just looked at it.
I'm sure the figure he came with has a cape.
And ceremonial capes don't count. We're talking they generally wear all the time.
I don't want to lead the Chancellor, but man, that's a great question. How many Moncals are in the scene? Because I wouldn't have guessed 4, and I don't know if it's more than 4, but there's those 3, and I don't think any of them are Akbar, are they? So yeah, I don't know that I would have guessed as there was. I don't know how many's in that scene. It's a good trivia.
Well, weren't there a bunch of them in the rebellion anyway? Because Mon Calamari was taken over by the Empire, and they didn't like that.
Well, it's all their ships too, so.
Yeah.
But that they made that many costume design, those aren't digitally inserted Moncals. So they made that many costumes for.
Would Mothma's thing count as a cape, or is that just like a gown?
That's a tunic.
That's a robe. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a cape.
The moo-moo.
Did her husband wear a cape? He did, didn't he?
She's still in her pajamas. She just rushed straight out.
The husband's a bit dodgy though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
She didn't think the call was happening. She didn't think the meeting was happening, but then Nadine said, "Yeah, no, I can make the meeting." So she shows up in her pajamas real quick. All right, hurry up, let's get this going. I thought we were going to do it next week. Look at her face. She's got general disdain for him because he showed up to the meeting, even though he said he couldn't.
General disdain sounds like a bad guy general.
General disdain.
Does he actually
Dark
use that
disdain?
Pointer? Does he use that pointer in the scene? I can't remember now. I know you remember him carrying it, but does he actually point to it or do some sort of hand trick or something? What is that for?
I don't remember. I just remember him sounding like Rocky and Bullwinkle.
That's a good question. I don't think we see him use it at all, but probably for like the wargaming thing where they would have the table and the pieces laid out and where he like has to push these ships, squadrons go over here and these guys go over here kind of thing. But I don't think we don't see anything like that, but it seems like a movie prop that like looks.
That's not long enough for that, really.
Well, they didn't have physical pieces like that. They would have had the digital pointer. Right. Yeah, it's a digital pointer. I like it.
Why isn't he in Star Wars Unlimited? Weird.
Not yet.
Yeah, right.
Well, you can tell me the other people in the background are.
Background player 1, background player 2.
Yeah.
Akbar.
Akbar's nephew, Akbar's sister, and the one behind Mon Mothma looks female-ish. I don't know why I want to say that, but right, that one just looks like a female.
Well, she's redder.
The hands placement
and
versus
a little smaller.
But then the guy on the left has a very thick neck, collar-y hiding stuff, and then the guy in the middle has a thin. That's what makes me think they were going for different designs. George, what do you want? Do you want the thin? Which one looks like a uniform these guys would wear? And so they're approving different things or whatever, and then they settle on Akbar's look, and then they just throw these guys in the back of a scene just so that there's some in there. It'd be interesting to find out the story of that.
Every scene has a story. I'm going to ask Copilot which characters in Star Wars.
But yeah, I'm going to have to rewatch this. Mon Mothma's face is just like, she is not happy about something.
Yeah, Darth Vader, Lando Calrissian, Count Dooku, the Emperor. Boba Fett, well, a bit more of a poncho, they say. And a cape. The only ones that's listed. Anyone else? I'm asking. Quite a few more. General Grievous, yeah. Krennic, Jango Fett, Padmen. That wasn't.
Oh, Grievous wears a cape too, yeah.
Padmen? Did you call her?
As I said, I think hers is more ceremonial. She doesn't wear it like all the time. She puts on like a dress cape type of thing that I think goes over the shoulder or something.
Keep asking it for any more. Oh, now it's really good. Mace Windu did not have a cape. Leia, the Inquisitors? No. Ayla Secura, the blue-skinned Trinic Jedi Knight, occasionally wears a cape over her combat attire.
What, her combat attire of bra and underwear?
Yeah.
Sports bra.
Yeah.
Right.
And performance underwear.
It's athletic. Yeah, it's the good stuff.
Twi'lek's always dressing like that. Put some clothes on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's their battle. That's their battle.
That's their battle dress
strategy. Yeah, so distract them with a flashy, skimpy battle.
And cool moves.
So the sail barge.
You opened
Steven
it
will be so excited. Sail barge. Where am I gonna find this? I should have led with this story. The sail barge. The sail barge was opened.
Oh my!
Good.
Oh, wow.
Sail barge was open.
The sail
Monumentous
barge has been
occasion.
breached.
Oh, not that sail barge is opened.
I'm glad we got the
I
camera
should
on
have known
for
it
us.
wasn't the sail barge.
Yeah. There was a sail barge in the advent
Not actual
calendar.
size.
Not the scale. 2 days ago, or I don't remember when it was, and I had a laugh to myself, a chuckle to myself that Steven will be so happy that I opened the sail barge. That I was saving it for the call. The Lego advent calendar. It's it's tiny. It's those little things that in the palm of your hand kind of thing. It's amazing what they can do with those little scales. Anybody else would be just like, what is it? Maybe it's a thing. I don't know. Is it a creature? What is it? But to a Star Wars fan opening a Star Wars advent calendar, I knew instantly what it was.
Cool.
So yes, sail barge is still in the box. The sail barge proper is still in the box.
At least it's not like my elf calendar. My elf calendar, I've opened 2 days that were all snowballs.
Yeah. I've got an advent calendar and I haven't actually opened it yet. So I just got told off by my sister, I'm not going to buy you one anymore if you don't open it.
Oh, get them open. Yeah.
Open them up.
Is it the one with chocolates and sweets in it? Is it?
Yeah, all chocolate ones.
Yeah. I thought that's what you liked. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll start on it tomorrow, I think. Now I'll start cracking, have a few each day, and then I'll soon catch up in time for a good day. Yeah, got to be done. Right then, well, we're done, are we? We're done. Back to it now.
What are you doing?
Giving Ricky fodder.
Sorry? I'm trying to think the music in the that's the original one in Return of the Jedi, Jabba's throne room. One with the lips.
Oh yeah, size noodles.
Yeah, I don't know what she's saying. I suppose it's in what language is that in?
It's Huttese.
Huttese.
Yeah. No idea. I wonder what that translates to. Haven't we got that? Let's look that up to see what she's actually saying.
It's a song about working out, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Because remember, Jazzercise was big back in the day.
Is it basically the Star Wars version of Let's Get Physical?
Basically, yeah. It's like a Jazzercise song.
That's something we never had in the sequels, was it? A music moment.
We had one thing by Lin-Manuel Miranda, but that was about it.
That terrible one in Solo.
Oh yeah.
The head in the jar. I hate that scene.
Oh yeah, I need to watch that film again. Forgotten about that bit. Yeah. It's almost like just seems like after having Return of the Jedi, it kind of seems like every Star Wars film should have some sort of musical number going on at some point. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right then, let's kill the conversation.
Yeah, it's been good. A little touch in.
Yeah. Killed my video stuff. It's just Ron on display now. And yeah, we're head off then.
All right, good talk.
Yeah.
All right.
See you in a week.
Yeah. Hopefully see you guys in a week. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Same time, same place next week.
All righty.